After the war, the Nazi race, the history books they tell of their defeat in 45. They all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. They say the prisoner of Spandau was a symbol of defeat. Whilst Hess remained in prison, then the fascists they would beat. So the promise of an Aryan world would never materialize. So why did they all come out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died? The world is riddled with maggots. The maggots are getting fat. They're making a tasty meal of all the bosses and bureaucrats. They're taking over the boardrooms and they're fat and full of pride. And they all came out of the woodwork on the day the Nazi died. So if you meet with these historians, I'll tell you what to say. Tell them that the Nazis never really went away. They're out there burning houses down and peddling racist lies. And we'll never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell, of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you
Don't scab for the boy.
Informer, the skibbity bibbity bibbity what I'm saying. Now look your boom boom down. As it says in the book of Mark, chapter 14, verse 7. Anyway, hello everybody. We're doing question time. It's going to be fucking atrocious. It's got Zia Yusuf in it, who is a cunt. Anyway, I should probably set up the Google Meet meeting where no Justice of the Novaras and I can chatterino. How are we all? Are we well? Oh, I haven't fucking put my thing in either. Giggity. My stream deck. I mean, I could just leave it plugged in permanently, I guess. But I'm told that can affect things. I don't fucking know. Allow this time. You can give me money for all of this technological precision and perfection if you wanted to, chat in the form of bits and subs and subscriptions and super chats and super thanks and fucking £5 for a hand job in the back alleyway, whatever, you know. It's entirely up to you as the consumer in this fantastic capitalist hellscape. Anyway, what are we doing? Oop. No, that's not what I wanted to fucking do. Why did I press on that? You dopey cunt. Boom. Pardon me. Did a burperino. And at no extra charge. That was a freebie. It's not a wonder why Navarro wants to employ one of us. And, well, I mean, they haven't specifically said no, but I haven't asked. There's been no communication whatsoever. What am I doing? There we go. Should we test to see if the stream deck is actually working? I think it might be working. How many times was I mentioned in the Epstein file? Well, thankfully 0. Although I did watch Rebecca Watson's fantastic video earlier. Oh my god. Like, we talk often, I suppose, about like Jeremy Corbyn being vindicated. And I'm sure that will be mentioned again tonight in regard to Peter Mandelson and the current British political leadership. But I don't think a human being has ever been more vindicated than Rebecca Watson, ever in the history of mankind. For those who don't know who she is a not British vindicator. Although she did, shut the fuck up, Logan. Although she did live in Britain for a while, but she's actually American. And she's like an atheist, journalist, blogger, communicator, educator, whatever you want to call them. And they got a lot of hatred from like Richard Dawkins and Lawrence Krauss and all these people back in the day because they dared to say that sexism was bad. Anyway, it turns out that not only was she completely correct about those people, but those people literally contacted fucking Jeffrey Epstein about her. So go and check out her video on that. It is honestly one of the greatest victory laps in the history of mankind.
Are you enjoying the quiet, Kevin?
I'm enjoying the quiet so much. You know what I love doing? Grilling.
Oh my god,
Love
it's
it.
just... Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is, chat? Do you know what this is? Do you know what all of this is? Everything that's happened over the last week, chat? This is the adults in the room.
It is. I'm so glad the sensibles are in charge.
We've just been talking about James O'Brien in chat as well.
Literally. Like, oh god, I was talking about vindication a second ago, but in a completely different, actually not completely different, because it's to do with Epstein as well. I was watching Rebecca
Watson,
Rebecca Watson.
Total vindication.
Yeah, she put out this video about them, and all. She's mentioned, like she said, she'd been mentioned in the first tranche of emails that were released, where Lawrence Krauss was like fucking bitching about her to Jeffrey Epstein. Because that's like when I think of what Jeffrey Epstein was up to, it's like talking to like the hedge fund manager in charge of like fucking JP Morgan stocks or something. You know what I mean? Like some big crazy shit, not random fucking failed scientist bitching about the girl that was mean to him once or something. Like what the fuck? I was expecting like the president of Zambia fucking emailing him or something. Not like fucking Richard Dawkins literally bitching about her.
The fact that even Jeffrey Epstein thought that Lawrence Krauss was a dickhead.
Oh, that's amazing. How much of a prick have you got to be like I mean, well, the same with Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk was begging to go to the island, and Epstein was like, I'm not sure, man. Do we really want like, we're going to be doing some crazy evil shit. Do we want this fucking dweeb harshing out evil vibes? I'm not sure. Like, he's definitely evil enough, but is he, like, fun enough? No.
And it is very funny that there's so many people who are only mentioned in the Epstein files because of all of the pedos hate them. And like, imagine today being Rebecca Watson, being Norman Finkelstein, being Jeremy Corbyn, or being Bernie Sanders, and knowing you're mentioned loads of times in the Epstein files, and it's all by people hating you. And I'm like, yep. There's one thing these people were scared of. It wasn't power, it wasn't money, it wasn't any of these things. It wasn't war, it wasn't China, it wasn't Russia. No, it was communists.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. What was the old phrase? I can't remember what it was. My enemies are on the CIA kill list. Yours are on the flight list.
So true. So true. So
Just
true.
Saying.
And
it was great to see Corbyn like in the debate around this in Parliament basically have his little victory lap moment. Like, under my leadership of the Labour Party, we had nothing to do with this cunt. Like, it was fucking brilliant. I loved it. Fair play.
So good, honestly.
It's Pyrrhic victory of a sort, but even so, it's fantastic. Love it.
Absolutely, 100%. He finally got his bonus ball out of all of this.
Yes.
Again, he must be so funny just sitting back and watching like the Labour Party burn itself to the ground.
Well, in a way, I'm sure it is, but in a way, it's also very sad because obviously he was a part of that for decades and like wanted it to succeed and tried his fucking hardest, only for these evil fucking adults in the room. Who apparently liked not adults also occasionally being in the room.
God, like, speaking of them being evil, did you see the story today that turns out Morgan McSweeney's team hired private investigators to stalk journalists who were reporting on Labour Together?
What a surprise. Wow. The evil bastard who was the protege of the evil bastard who liked being yum friends with an evil bastard turns out to be an evil bastard. Who could possibly have foreseen this? If only the journalists in this country had done any amount of scrutiny of these cunts before the election.
Oh god, it's incredible, isn't it? I mean, and the journalists are going to do their fucking victory lap as well, going, "Oh, look at the people that we've brought down. You did fuck all."
There's no one in the British, other than maybe like 5 journalists who did any reporting on this. Every single one of you fuckers in the fearless Fourth Estate should hang your fucking heads in shame.
Literally,
you knew all about
has
this.
Done more to deal with the rot at the heart of New Labour than anyone from fucking Sky News.
Literally, you all knew about this. Do you remember? I specifically remember the day it was announced that Mandelson was going to be the ambassador to America, right? And me and you both said, "What, Epstein's fucking friend is going to be in there?" So if me and you knew it, watching Laura Koonsberg one random fucking Sunday afternoon or whatever, like there's no way they didn't know. And then it turns out, right, not only did they know, but he was lying about not knowing because he revealed at Prime Minister's questions that he definitely fucking did know. And somehow he's still Prime Minister now. Why? How?
It's crazy. Why is he not gone?
Yeah.
How has he not resigned?
So you knew that the nunce's best friend, Yum Yum Boy, was exactly who everyone knew he was fucking years before, and you were like, you know what we should do? We should definitely send him to the most prestigious ambassadorial role we possibly can. And it turns out the guy was doing fucking espionage by sending private fucking information from the British government to an American citizen. And then they made him ambassador to America.
It's just, honestly, it's poetic. It's poetic in the hubris, isn't it?
At least when the KGB infiltrated their moles into the British establishment to make sure that the specific organisation within MI5 that was meant to root out KGB double agents was a KGB double agent, therefore protecting all of the KGB agents, at least the British government didn't know that was happening. What we've done is go, you know what we should do? Is head the anti-KGB organisation with a KGB spy. The Cambridge lads at least had to pretend they weren't fucking Russian. What, you know what I mean?
It's so true. It's so true.
Fucking hell.
Honestly, okay, but again, the reason why they're all dunking on Mandelson and getting him to resign is because they know his career is over, so he's no longer access, so they don't need him.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a reason why Morgan McSweeney is only being mentioned in passing. He should be raked over the fucking coals for this shit. Like, everyone's gunning for Starmer, but it's McSweeney's fault.
Yeah, Mandelson is yesterday's news, right? The Mandelson now is Morgan McSweeney. He's
literally.
Mandelson and fucking what's his? Alistair Campbell rolled into one. He's that person right now. He is fucking what's his name? The Scottish
Malcolm Tucker.
Are you fucking? Can you read my actual mind? Or am I just that simple? Yeah. Anyway, he's the Malcolm Tucker. He's Malcolm Tucker right now. And everyone knows he's Malcolm Tucker. And they're like occasionally kind of alluding to maybe there being a Malcolm Tucker who stood right there. We can all fucking see the gun.
Whose fault his? Whose direct fault his? He is the best friend of Mandelson. He is the man who ventriloquizes Keir Starmer. It's all his project. He's the shadow prime minister. And if anyone at all, at any point before now in the mainstream media had bothered reporting on this at all, we maybe wouldn't be in this position. But of course they didn't, because he's the fucking access. Yeah. Mandelson's career is over. He's no longer access. They'll donk him into oblivion, right? McSweeney's the new access. He gets off lightly. Well, welcome to... It's Boris Johnson all over again. It's exactly what happened with Boris Johnson, where he was, he's in with the press, he's in with the press. Well, we don't need him anymore. Let's dunk all the Partygate stuff we've known for 6 months into the public domain and ruin his career because he's no longer useful to us.
Yeah. Amazing shit. Fucking hell, there's so much to talk about here. Do we want to do the Al Khan's thing first?
Yeah, let's do Al Khan's first.
Or they'll definitely bring up the fact that Starmer should go at some point. So maybe we could fit it into the show. But if you want to do it first, we can do it first. That's fine.
Yeah, let's get. I mean, we can always do more question time tomorrow if we need to. But the Al Khan stuff is immediately that's really interesting stuff because it makes no fucking sense that he's being talked about in
in
absentia, really.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, Al Khan's is the Member of Parliament for Birmingham Selly Oak. He is literally my Member of Parliament. Not that I or anyone else would know that, because no one knows who the fuck this person is. If there is one thing you need to know about Al Khan's, is that nobody knows anything about Al Khan's. He's a nobody. He's literally a fucking nobody, a point I will return to. Anyway, he was parachuted in, foisted upon this city, a city that I don't think he'd been to before or since his election, frankly. He has no connection to the place, nothing. Even the guy who he replaced, Steve McCabe, was Scottish, so he wasn't from here either, but moved down to here in the 80s to be a social security social worker. Jesus Christ, my mind isn't working today. So he was a social worker and then became a councillor and worked his way through and became an MP. Now, the reason he really left was he was offered a seat in the House of Lords, because obviously these people are all fucking thick as thieves. And secondly, he was probably going to be deselected, because in a seat that contains a significant number of Muslims and other people who don't like genocide, he was the chairperson of the Labour Friends of Israel.
He was, yeah.
So, there was a chance he was going to have to go through the selection process and wouldn't have won, which is odd. Because for a sitting MP, generally they just sort of get waved through, because you've got incumbency. Why would you choose a different person unless they're a genocidal monster? That sort of thing. Anyway, Al Khan's, like I say, I don't think has been back to Birmingham. Honestly, it would be interesting to see who's been to their constituency more in their entire life. Nigel Farage in Clacton or Al Khan's and Selly Oak. Because I don't know, it would be a tough one. We're talking single digits on both counts, I think.
Well, the thing is, with Nigel Farage, he has to go there periodically to pretend that he does go there, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's become such a meme. He does deliberate promotional videos in Clacton to go, oh, look, I'm in Clacton, which you wouldn't need to do if you're a regular resident of the constituency. But Al Khan can't even go that far.
No,
he doesn't bother.
Honestly, and this is the thing, right? He's being touted by the Labour right as, the replacement for Keir Starmer. He's currently the Veterans Minister, right? He was brought in specifically as that, and obviously came through the...
Because he's a fucking squaddie, isn't he?
Yeah, ex-squaddie who, let's say, allegedly may have been involved in some pretty shady shit in Afghanistan. We won't go into it. It's alleged.
I mean, it felt like every British soldier ended up getting into dodgy shit in Afghanistan or whatever.
Well, the fact that they were in Afghanistan itself was dodgy. Let's put it that way.
True.
But either way, that's alleged. He served in the British military in Afghanistan.
Even the left do this. Even the left of the Labour Party do this. They go, "Oh, we need to have Clive Lewis. He's an ex-squaddy."
No, we don't. And actually, Clive Lewis isn't even that bad, to be honest. But yeah, we don't need to do that. I don't thank you for your service. I don't thank you for your fucking service. Stick up your ass. Right. Anyway, yes, and then it was parachuted in, clearly under the Peter Mandelson guided, as we now know, selection process of only the best candidates ever, including, people who are now on trial for sexual assault and things like that. Only the best possible quality candidates.
High quality.
Anyway, including
so Dan Norris been arrested again, by the way, for even more charges.
Yeah, because of course it is. If the selection process is done by the yum friend of the most notorious paedophile ever, don't be so like it's garbage in, garbage out, isn't it? Like it's if he's the filter, then the thing coming out the other end is shit. That's it, right? Anyway, which by the way inculcates whatever. All of the people currently in the Labour Party, right? Because they're literally all a part of this. You got through the process of Peter Mandelson weeding you out. So if you made it through, you were at the very least tolerable to Peter Mandelson.
Right.
I'm just saying that. Unless you resign from the Labour Party at this point, I think you're beyond redemption. I think you were actually right the other day when you said we shouldn't accept any of these people. They're fucking tainted by their association here. If they don't try and wash themselves clean, they just sit in the cesspit. Fucking stay there and drown then. I don't care. Whatever.
Well, I think there's been the fact that we've seen public calls for resignation from Nadia Whittam and John McDonnell. Maybe that's the line. If this stuff comes out and you go, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, if your immediate reaction is, oh yeah, he has to fucking go, get out, get got, then I guess that if you're not calling for his resignation now, what the fuck are you doing? I feel like Barry Gardiner couldn't even say it last night. Like, he was furious and he just sat there in silence. I'm like, just say it.
Because he's a cock.
He has to go.
Because he's cocking. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, implicates is probably the word I was looking for. It doesn't matter. So Alistair Carnes, Al Carnes, is a guy that, like I say, even people in the constituency don't know. I've had people who I think are relatively up to date with things ask me who the MP is. Because they don't know who he is. And I'm not just saying that to like dunk on him because like he's a fucking no-mark freak, which is true, but like I'm not actually dunking on him for that. I mention that because that's the thing that pisses me off most about this, is that whatever one might think of like Wes Streeting, or Andy Burnham, or indeed the current incumbent in number 10, they're at least nationally known. They're well-known figures, right? Which is one of the prerequisites of being Prime Minister, I think. Because in order to have any kind of faith in a Prime Minister, you have to know that they're actually a living, breathing person that actually exists. And nobody knows that about Al Carnes, including the people who he supposedly represents. So, and that's the point, right? The fucking cheek, the disgusting cheek it takes for the Labour right to even fucking think of putting someone in who nobody has ever fucking heard of, just placing them on the throne. Because this person isn't going to call an election and be elected Prime Minister. They're going to be ushered in to number 10 without a fucking election. Maybe a few thousand Labour Party members might get a vote, but even then, who knows if there's going to be a vote? It could just be a coronation, in which case we get an unelected nobody. An unelected fucking nobody. Which just goes to show you the contempt that the Labour right has for everybody in the country. The fact that they would even suggest someone of absolutely no fucking recognition, no renown, no track record, no experience, no fucking worth. Can you even tell me what he sounds like? Have you ever heard this man's voice?
No, I did. Like,
and you do politics for a living.
It's a 2024 intake. It's crazy.
Yeah,
he doesn't know anything about government.
He's literally nobody, and they're lining him up as their fucking leader. It's disgusting. Now, I should be kind of like, oh, the guy that's my MP might become Prime Minister. That's kind of cool on a local level. To be fair, the last Birmingham Prime Minister didn't do a great job. Did do a little bit of a peasy-weasy on the Hitler-Whitler. Just saying. But, you know, that would sort of be cool on a local level. But I think this would be a fucking disgrace. I'm genuinely angry that they would even consider this. And it just goes to show you, the Labour right aren't even party before country. They're faction before party before country. They just care about themselves. They're just... The Labour right are the most self-serving scum that have ever existed.
That's been my kind of assessment of the whole fucking mess, the whole cavalcade of shit. Like, just everything that happens, everything they do makes you want these people to just spontaneously combust. They're just... I mean, there's a great interview with Owen Jones from a couple of years ago. I think it's 2024 sometime. And it's Owen Jones going, these people are dead behind the eyes. And it's so true. It's so
literally
true.
Well, talking of Owen Jones, I'm reminded of his book title. Was it the Establishment and How They Keep Getting Away with It? Yep.
This is how.
That about sums it up. And he wrote that like fucking 10 years ago or something. Like, just, you know, just saying. So, yeah, so we might get King Al Khan's. Would anyone notice? Is he actually real? I'm not sure he's real. I didn't vote for you. Literally, I didn't vote for him because he's scum, obviously.
Just
the worst people in the world. And honestly, given all of this, can we now actually say this is the most corrupt government that ever existed? British,
in the UK, surely, right?
Yeah. Like, and that's following on from Rishi Sunak and fucking Boris Johnson and the handing out contracts to your mates down the pub. That, like, even
Cameron
that,
and Greensill and shit like that.
Yeah, like literally, it came out, right? You know, the Palantir. By the way, is it just fantastic that Palantir have lost £40 billion in a day? Beautiful. Their stock price has gone through the floor because they're probably about to lose a load of big contracts. Awesome. Anyway, by the way, talking of vindication, guess who 2 weeks ago was outside the Palantir headquarters calling for them to fuck off out the NHS? It's only our boy Polanski. Love it. Anyway, vote Green. No,
it was a good point from Maura and I in chat. Like, we talk about like corruption in general. If we talk about, look at think of the successes of the new Labour government. They won so many elections. But they've cash for honours was from the fucking New Labour era. Do you remember the expenses scandal? That was New Labour era.
Yep.
Alistair Campbell was like passing fucking notes around with the Murdoch press behind the scenes. They're all scum. They're all fuck them all.
They possibly murdered one of the whistleblowers on their lies on Iraq. Maybe he committed suicide though. Maybe, who knows? Just saying. But they probably killed him. Look up Dr. David Kelly if you want to look into that story. An amazing thing. Anyway,
what did you have having the corruption minister be charged with corruption in absentia in Bangladesh?
And the homelessness minister making people homeless. Because apparently she thought it was a pro-homeless position, not an anti-homeless position that she was taking up. I don't know.
I think my favourite kind of mini scandal was when we found out that Rachel Reeves had plagiarised her book from Wikipedia.
That's also good. Yeah, line on the CV. Boom. But anyway, sorry, Palantir. I didn't realise this, right? You know, when he has Mandelson obviously has connections to Palantir because of course he does, because Peter Thiel was thick as thieves with fucking Epstein and all sorts of shit. Anyway, turns out that off the record, so literally when the British Prime Minister goes abroad, in order that there's full transparency, outside of things for which there is like a direct national security thing, so look, if he goes to the Pentagon, they don't tell you he's going to the Pentagon, for obvious reasons. But everything else is on the record, right? Except he went for a private visit on public time with public money with the then ambassador to the United States of America, Yum Yum, as I'm going to call him forever because I don't want to say his fucking name anymore, to the headquarters of Palantir. And then 2 months later, Palantir were given a massive contract to get all of our private information on the NHS.
With no like due diligence, no tendering process.
No tendering process.
Just
given out. British companies weren't even allowed to apply for that contract. It was just given to them. It was just given to them by the British. The British government gave hundreds of millions of pounds and all of our data to the most evil organisation on earth. After it wasn't even officially announced. This was like done in complete secrecy for no reason. Other than the fact that it was obviously corrupt as fuck. These evil bastards are corrupt as fuck.
a company so comically, like so hilariously and obviously evil, they deliberately named themselves after Saruman's all-seeing orb from Lord of the fucking Rings.
True. And of course, their British spokesperson is the grandson of Oswald Mosley, and interestingly, seems to want to do a lot of his interviews wearing a black shirt. Which, if I were the grandson of Oswald Mosley, I would never wear a black shirt in my entire life to any event ever.
Literally.
Like, he can't be blamed for who his granddad is. He can take that into account, though. You know? Like...
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you got to minimise people asking questions, but of course,
Exactly.
he seems to actively want people to ask questions.
Yeah. I don't know why you're goose stepping there. What's happening there, mate? What are you doing that for? That's a bit fucking weird.
Honestly.
Apparently, it's Sauron, not Saruman. Helena, you being
No, it's
called
Saruman.
out.
No, Sauron has the tower with the eye. Saruman has the orb that sees.
Oh well, one of you is wrong. One of you is a fake nerd. I don't know which one, but like I'll let the nerds fight it out. It's not my place. Anyway, shall we get into all of the... I don't know what they're even going to talk about on this show, because it's been so quiet this week. The quiet has been so deafening.
Yeah, literally. Honestly, literally.
This island has never been more normal. It's at its most normal right now. Yeah.
Although, again, yes, at least we're having consequences for the friends of Epstein. No
That is
such
true. That is absolutely true, yeah. I mean, I think you were possibly about to infer, in America, the richest man in the world and the president are both also Yum friends, but, you know, they're still in position.
It's true. Although, to be fair, I would expect as much scrutiny of Trump of Trump's and Musk's Epstein connections in the United States as there would be for Bin Zayed's Epstein connections in the UAE. You know,
True.
maybe in like what is supposed to be a Muslim country, finding out that your emir has been visiting like a child sex trafficker and apparently selling family members. Some grotesque shit happened under Bin Zayed. I forget exactly what it was. And maybe that might be like a bad look in your kind of conservative religious country.
You'd think so, yeah. Although, what I will say is that it goes against a lot of the Islamophobic talking points that a Jewish paedophile and a Muslim paedophile could get on so well. Really, they're breaking down barriers, people. Come on now.
So true. It's equal opportunities nonsense.
It is. This is DEI nonsense, and it's a powerful thing, friend. Anyway.
PDEI file.
Hang on, I nearly burst. Jesus Christ. Okay, right. So, for a start off, for Americans, yes, this place is really called Dorking. It's a real place. Unfortunately, it does exist. And secondly, does Zia Yusuf have like a fucking fortnightly pass to this TV show?
I mean,
Because he's on all the time.
I feel like they've just got no one left to speak for them. The thing is, there are actually Reform UK spokespeople who aren't tedious blowhards in the way that.
And there are
Zia
fucking,
Yusuf is.
6 MPs or something now? Choose one of them. Like, imagine the amount of times that Nigel Farage was on this show when he wasn't an MP. And now he is an MP and doesn't even do, like, you can't even say, oh, he's too busy in his constituency, because he's never fucking there, right? And yet now they don't have him on. Now they go, put the brown lad out there to do the racism, then it doesn't seem so bad. Fucking hell. And you know what it's going to be? I guarantee you he's going to mention, right, when it comes to the Epstein stuff, he's going to mention, oh, Rotherham, Muslims, Muslim rape gangs, Muslim immigrant rape gangs. I fucking guarantee he's going to do it. Anyway, Dorking.
For tonight's question time, we've come to Dorking in Surrey. Our audience reflects a wide range of political views and the voting record across the nation as a whole.
Oh, I've spotted the 2 brown lads. They let 2 of them in today. Lovely stuff.
By the way, when she says it's Dorking in Surrey, that means for Americans watching, they're really fucking posh.
Except, like, yeah, this is proper, like, mental posh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Welcome to Question Time in Dorking on the BBC News Channel, iPlayer and Sounds. On tonight's panel, panel from the government. Emma Reynolds, Environment Secretary. She worked as a special advisor during the Blair years and became an MP in 2010.
Wow, a SPAD. What a surprise.
Well, she was somebody who, when she lost her seat in 2019 and then obviously got a new seat in 2024, originally, this is the seat of where I grew up in High Wycombe.
Yeah.
That's where she's the MP for. But in the 5-year period between losing a seat and standing in another seat and winning, she was a lobbyist for the City UK, which lobbies on behalf of the financial sector, and is now the City Minister.
And
Great.
I did do a cheeky little preschool check. Not a check of their preschools. I pre-checked the schools that these people went to. You never guess what she did and where.
Is it PP at Oxford?
Cambridge, but close enough.
Cambridge. Ah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
close.
No, it was Oxford. Bollocks, I got it the wrong way round. Because the Tory did political and social science at Oxford. No, at Cambridge. I got that wrong as well. Right, this fucker went to Oxford and the other one went to Cambridge. It doesn't matter. They're the same fucking set of cunts. It doesn't matter.
Julia Lopez is the Conservatives' Shadow Science Secretary.
And can I just say to both of these people, was Al Khan's unavailable for the most non-known person in Parliament? What the fuck is this? Who are these three? In this week, they've sent out these two absolute no-marks, because presumably the other ones went, I ain't touching this. You fucking mental. No, I'm not. No, I'm definitely not going on Question Time this week. Are you fucking mad?
Yeah, like apparently on Newsnight tonight, they couldn't find literally anybody to defend the government. So they sent out like a junior Treasury Minister.
Like, well, because there is no defending. There's literally no defending of it. Like, and this is the thing. This is the I think we had the same problem under like Rishi Sunak and Boris Johnson. But if Liz Truss had been around long enough, this would have been a problem as well. That if you keep marching people up the hill and then back down again, eventually they say, no, we're not fucking doing this anymore. If you send them out there to lie, and then you reveal, like 2 weeks later, or in the case of Boris Johnson, hours later, that you were lying, and that this is the new story, this is the new lie we're telling, which eventually will reveal. People don't want to do it. They're just going to go, no, I won't go out there and fucking debase myself like that more than 7 times. You know? And that's what's happening now, I think. Like, Wes Streeting is not going to go out there to bat for this nonsense. Why would he?
No. It's so true. It's so true. I mean, like, Carl Turner said this last week they literally said about the marching up and down again. It was like, MPs are fucking sick of it. And I was like, oh, looks like Keir Starmer can't keep control of his MPs. I'm like, no, the guy's just sucks.
Yeah.
The guy's just a dickhead, and at least a non-zero number of Labour MPs aren't monsters.
Because they've all been out there. You have to parrot the party line. And when the party line gets shown to be shit every single time, eventually they just go, no, I'm not defending this. I'm not fucking doing it. Do you remember last week how fucking indignant with rage Emily Thornberry was about whatever the fuck it was? I don't even remember what it was. And then in Parliament this week, she was asked about her quote, because she's the head of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, right? Yeah. So she gets to speak in that debate first because she's the head of the thing, and so it's sort of seen as cross-parliamentary talk or whatever. Anyway, and so she got up and spoke, and an intervention from the Tories were. You say this about Peter Mandelson now, but at the time you called it, quote, an inspiring choice. Would you like to retract that or defend it? And she gabbled and sat on the fence and and ahed and blah blah blah. And you just think, you are fucking disgraceful. You can't even say, yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, no, I got that wrong. At the very least, at least lie and pretend. But she just couldn't bring herself to it. And I just thought, well, fuck you then. You've got absolutely no scruples or principles whatsoever. And that's after you bent over backwards for them and they couldn't even find a minister without portfolio position for you. She got shafted. They won the election. She sold her fucking soul to the devil. And the devil went, nah, bruv, on your fucking way. Your soul's still mine, though, cunt.
The irony, of course, being that she sold her soul, i.e. to back up Keir Starmer saying that war crimes were okay.
Yeah.
And in fact, in the actual Attorney General position, they put in Lord Hermer, someone who's actually pretty good on Palestine, funnily enough, which is weird. Like, it's so crazy. It's so, like, she's such a pathetic cuck. They're all pathetic cucks.
Yep.
Entered Parliament in 2017 alongside Kemi Badenoch and is considered one of her closest allies. Munira Wilson is the Liberal Democrats' education spokesperson. Before politics, she worked as a lobbyist for organising...
She looks.
Of course, she's a lobbyist.
Of course, she's a lobbyist.
Of course, she's a lobbyist.
No, to be fair, she did at least study a proper thing at Oxford. She did French and German.
Oh, was it Oxford? Was it?
Yeah, but she did French and German, which is at least like okay. But it's also kind of FBPE coded, which is funny.
It is quite, isn't
Yeah.
it?
But also, and I mention this, I think every time I've seen her in Parliament on stream, she does look like the girl chipmunk.
Oh, Kevin.
She looks like the girl chipmunk. I don't know.
does,
I don't know what the
yeah.
character's called, but the girl from the Chipmunks, Alvin, Simon, Theodore, a show I watched with ridiculous regularity because we had it on VHS. Yes, I'm old. Yeah, she looks like the girl. Which is look, that's the girl was cute. Like it's fine. That's not an insult.
She just has large front teeth. Yes.
Yeah.
But
And the
one,
bob
yeah.
haircut as well. Like it's a package.
I must say
Sensations.
that. I must say that. Really, that is not a flattering haircut. I will say that.
No. Actually, the way they get female politicians to dress and act is so unattractive. Like you think they kind of want to tart them up a bit, but they don't. It's all shoulder pads and fucking melon cat haircuts and stuff. It's rubbish.
Yeah.
Oh, gross. Like, would it kill you to show a bit of tit on occasion? Is that like, and that goes for the blokes as well. Honestly, if you cut, I want to see you shredded fucking boards. Let's have it. You know. There's too many munters in Parliament. I'm just saying.
Including Save the Children. Zia Youssef is Reform UK's head of policy. He clashed with high-profile Tories who've since defected to Reform, including Robert Jenrick, but now believes they'll play a big role in preparing the party for government. And Ollie Dugmore.
Oh yeah, did you see they've?
What the face is this? Sorry.
Yeah, he does look a bit like he's doing the kind of Kubrick stare thing, and that's unsettling. Did you see who Reform have chosen as their leader in Wales? Again, chosen, has not been selected by a single Welsh person.
A guy who says that he's working class because his granddad was a miner, even though he's a financier.
Yeah, the financier who was the Tory head of Barnet Council until like 2 months ago.
Oh, so they're not just like taking all of the failed Tory MPs; they're getting the failed just people who were Tories in like from like nowhere.
Yeah, basically yes. A man who hasn't lived in Wales for 25 years. But he's going to be the head of Wales. Look, at least at time of recording, he hasn't been outed as a Russian spy, a literal paid-for Russian spy. So he is at least head and shoulders above some former leaders of Reform in Wales.
Yeah. What I will say is if you vote Reform in Wales or Scotland, you are English.
Yeah.
This is how this works. If you vote for the English Nationalist Party in Scotland or Wales, that makes you de facto English. I do not care how long you've lived in the Highlands for, you are English. End of story.
He's moved to Blackwood as well. That's where the Manic Street Preachers are from. Blackwood.
I did not know that.
It's a little village. Not little village, but it's also did at one point have the largest pot noodle factory in Europe. It's like
Well, there you go.
after the mining all left, and it was replaced with a fucking pot noodle factory.
Is a broadcaster and journalist from The New Statesman. He's called student loans a national scandal and wants Rachel Reeves to change the system.
You can look into the camera, Ollie. You don't have to look away ashamed. That's fine.
To be fair, what I will say. The New Statesman, since they changed Jason Cowley for Tom McTague, it's gone like through. It's like it's a totally different magazine. It's significant. I cannot put into words the level of improvement that's gone through since Cowley fucked off and McTague took over, and people like Hannah Barnes, all that shit were cleaned out.
I've given up on them. So unless I hear like this is the first sort of positive thing, so I might give them a chance in the future. But like I just wrote them off as like, oh, it's just a shithole rag. No.
I mean, getting people like Alva Rea and Ollie Dugmore to write it, and their stuff has been really good. Alva Rea, in particular, has been very, very good. Like, she was the one who did the whole expose on Kemi Badenoch, where we found out that she locks herself in her car and scrolls Twitter and ruminates.
True.
Good evening. Welcome to our panellists. Welcome to our audience here in Dorking. Very nice to see you, and welcome to you at home as well. Joining the conversation on social media, just sit back and watch the proceedings, whichever you prefer. Won't surprise you, there's one quite big topic tonight, and we're going to kick off with it with a question from...
Is someone on the panel opening a packet of crisps?
That was me.
Oh, sorry. I was like, that's... No way. Is Zia Yusuf getting the fucking the cheese and onion out this early? That's outrageous. I'd respect it, though. It's a power move.
Sonak Patel.
Hang on. My audio seems to have fucking died. 1 second. Is it just me, or does he look a little bit like Virat Kohli?
I'm sorry?
Does he look a little bit like Virat Kohli?
No.
No. Okay, I'm just racist. Sorry.
Keir Starmer resigned
Mini
over
cheddars,
the
by the
Peter
way.
Mandelson scandal.
So, Emma, you must have been thinking, how have I drawn the short straw to come on Question Time tonight? But here you are.
No, the only reason she's on tonight is because of this story. Because there's no fucking way. If you're a Secretary of State and therefore would have the decision to maybe not want to do tonight's show, like, I guarantee you they asked every single one of them to do it, and they said, go fuck yourself. And eventually they got down to this bitch. And eventually, they had all of the kind of junior ministers, and they just put all the names into a hat. Oh, lucky dip, you fucking win, Lopez. On you go.
Honestly, they should just send out Tulip Sadiq as the corruption minister, because
Yeah.
then she knows full well she'll not have to answer any questions about the actual corruption that she's been convicted of.
Yeah, is she given like fucking 4 years in absentia in Bangladesh?
Yes.
Like, literally, she cannot now go to Bangladesh, a place where I think she has dual citizenship, because if
She
she
does
does,
indeed.
she has a 4-year prison sentence waiting for her.
Yeah, for being the granddaughter of Sheikh Hasina,
Yeah.
who's also now in prison for corruption.
Well, and it's alleged that certain funds may have gone into certain accounts that are connected to her in some way, or... I don't know. Either way, like... I mean, I trust the Bangladeshi justice system as much as I choose to trust the British one, by which I mean I don't fucking trust it. But still, it's the best we have to go on.
And that question is for you. Should Keir Starmer resign?
No, I don't think he should resign, because I think Keir Starmer is somebody...
Yes, you do think he should. Like, I'm not even going to say, like, that's bullshit. I'm just going to say this person is lying. They do think he should resign. They just can't say it because they themselves would then have to resign.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
who is motivated by public service, wants to do...
What are you talking about? He's motivated by Arsenal tickets and gay sex with Ukrainians. Fuck off.
Allegedly.
No, not allegedly. Fuck him. Have you seen? He was alright with Nancy McNunn's boy. I'm sorry, no, he doesn't get the benefit of the fucking doubt. 5 Ukrainians have been arrested and charged with potential terrorism for trying to kill the Prime Minister. I think those rumours might be fucking true. Jesus.
right by the public, is absolutely committed
And you can definitely cut that bit out from the fucking VOD, it's fine.
to tackling the cost of living and delivering the change that we promised 18 months ago. We were always clear that there would be no overnight fixes. We had a tough inheritance, but we are starting to turn the corner. Obviously,
hang
it's
a
been a
minute.
tough
Whoa.
couple of days. I'm not going to...
There are lots of tough things that the Labour government inherited. I will admit that. It's true, and they won't be fixed overnight. You know what they didn't inherit? A gap in the role of ambassador to the United States of America. That was filled. That was filled with Dame Karen Pierce, somebody who inexplicably seemed to be liked by both the Biden and Trump administrations. She was perfectly fine in her job and did not need replacing. And yet they decided to replace her anyway, and they decided to replace it with Jeffrey Epstein's fucking yum-yum friend.
Who, again, it's been revealed was in order to try and stop the British government imposing a 50% one-off tax on bankers' bonuses, which eventually did happen. And, I mean, in this one and only one sense, I will say, God rest the soul of Alistair Darling, the then Chancellor, for pushing through with this, because apparently he was being shouted at by bankers and stuff, and it was revealed also, right, by Darling himself, that they had a prepared script that was given to them by who we don't know, but it was so obviously prepared that these bankers were ringing him saying exactly the same thing, that he started quoting it back to them. Because he'd heard it so many fucking times that same day. He'd memorised line for line exactly the thing they were going to say. And he stood up to all of it and went, no, we're going to do this one good thing ever, thank you. So fair play to him on that point. But either way, in order to try and stop that, he released private, against the will of the British government, private market-sensitive documentation to a private American citizen, maybe on an island or maybe not on an island. It doesn't matter. And then they made him fucking ambassador to the very country that he was just doing espionage for a citizen of.
Incredible.
Why isn't he in fucking jail? Like, literally.
I mean, hopefully he will be. We'll see.
Look,
We'll see.
and why is he only being investigated for misconduct in public office and not fucking espionage? Because that's what it is. Tell me a definition of espionage that doesn't include the very story I've just relayed for you all. You can't. You just can't.
Nope.
To deny that.
I mean, that has to be an understatement, surely. You've got Harriet Harman tonight saying, this is Harriet Harman, saying Keir Starmer is weak, naive and gullible for his explanation of why he appointed
No, he's
Peter
evil!
Mandelson and why he believed him.
Well, with respect to Harriet, I don't agree with that. And I think what we've seen is...
Okay, I know they have to send out like a second stringer. They have to get someone off the subs bench for this show. But could they have not got someone with any life to them at all? Look, I know she's dead inside, but she's not supposed to be dead outside. Fucking hell.
Peter Mandelson betrayed...
With respect, I disagree with Harriet. Do you think this is really doing anything good for your PR? Really? Like, honestly, the best thing they could have done, send the Prime Minister. Let him... They're not going to say no to the Prime Minister, are they? Send the Prime Minister out there to fucking defend it himself.
Betraying this government, betraying the previous Labour government. As you said, I was an advisor in that government, betraying the British people at a time during the global financial crash when the government, when the Prime Minister at the time, Gordon Brown, was trying to protect people from the impact of the global financial crash. Peter Mandelson was forwarding emails with market-sensitive information to Jeffrey Epstein. That we discovered this week, but obviously we had the discovery also in September of the depth of the relationship that he had with a convicted...
Okay, I'm going to kill this little story, this little line they have. Firstly, it wasn't revealed in September, the depth of that. Again, No Justice and I both said on the day this fucking story was announced, back in whenever the fuck it was, August, they'd just taken power, they decided to do this, right? We both said, what, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend is being sent to America? What?
Yeah, literally. First thing we said.
So, like, that's a lie that this was just revealed in September. And secondly, if you want to go with this line of, oh, we only found out in September, that means you were aware that he had some relationship, but not the extent of it. Okay. What extent of a relationship with a convicted child sex predator is okay?
It's so true.
Like how deep into that, like, from the position of I will never contact this person ever again because they've been convicted of trafficking and raping a child, to being yum friends, where on that continuum is okay for you? Because if it's anything other than the I will not talk to this person ever again, it was a mistake to have ever known them, I think your moral compass might be a little bit faulty.
Maybe you might not be fit for one of the prestigious ambassadorial roles in the fucking world.
Indeed.
Convicted paedophile.
Yes, but none of that's in
weren't-
question, Emma.
no.
What's in question is whether Keir Starmer has, well, in the words of Harriet Harman, is a weak, naive and gullible. I mean, Keir Starmer was talking about it today, and he said, look, Peter Mandelson lied to me and to other MPs and said he...
Okay, again, this line is amazing. So, he's not sorry that he did it, he's sorry that he believed the lies of the person he sent to America. Why did you choose to believe the person who had already been sacked from the government twice before for corruption and dodgy dealing and lying and being a piece of shit, a man who is known for being the world's biggest fucking bullshitter ever, up to and including maybe making up the story of a former Prime Minister fucking a pig, right? Why would you believe the say-so of that person, who obviously has a financial and power-based vested interest in getting the position he's applying for, and not the people tasked with looking at the background, potentially a compromat, on people who we are sending as diplomats?
It's also like, you'd think, given Keir Starmer's pretty storied history of being a proven morally corrupt serial liar, You'd think he'd be good at spotting it.
Yeah. Well, you would think so, yeah. I mean, it's almost as if he knew all about this and didn't care. Because, again, to quote, I still can't believe he said this. Peter Kyle, back in September, when he was eventually fired, when Mandelson was fired, he said he was, quote, worth the risk. Excuse me? Why are you taking any risk? We had a person in position who wasn't a risk at all. What?
Also worth pointing out as well, like, Steve Reed was on Good Morning Britain today saying, well, we didn't actually know the photos until very recently because of the Epstein drop. Nope. Those photos were in the JP Morgan investigation from 2019 that was made public in 2023 by the Financial Times.
Yeah.
This audit that was done was from fucking years ago. Keir Starmer was asked about this in a press conference in January 2024, 5 months before the election. He knew full well that there were questions, at the very least, a cloud hanging over this relationship. And at no point between being told about this in January 2024, at the very latest, and the appointment of Mandelson in late 2024, did he ever think to go, maybe I should check.
Yeah.
Maybe I should check if the person that I am appointing to the most prestigious ambassadorial role in the country, potentially even the world, might indeed have been friends with a convicted fucking paedophile. Maybe that'd be worth checking. Because he's Mr. Rules. He's the adult. He's super sensible. He's a diligent, pragmatic person. You'd think he might check whether or not that he was appointing the best pal of a convicted paedophile to the role of ambassador to the United States.
Although, again, as pointed out at the time by you and I, in a certain Machiavellian sense, it was a kind of a genius move to send best friend of paedophile to be the ambassador under a president who was best friends of the same paedophile.
True.
Like, if we're just going to do the Machiavellian, like, we have to do what we got to do, they've already got a connection, you know what I'm saying? They've already built, that bridge is already there.
It's true. It is funny they kept going, well, we had to appoint an ambassador. No, he didn't.
No, you didn't.
There was already one there.
Yeah, there literally already was one there. And, like, okay, this is possibly a controversial viewpoint, but I don't mind patronage as a concept in politics. I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think you necessarily should do it all the time, because most of the time you choose the best person for the position. But if someone has rendered you a serious political service, the idea of giving them a decent job as part of that, as a part of a quid pro quo, isn't the end of the world for me. It's a part of the system that's always been there for for thousands of years. If you're one of my in-group, I give you a cushy number. It's not the end of the world. It's the way politics fucking works. It's power. It's power dynamics. It happens, right? But what exactly did Peter Mandelson do that deserved that position? Because that's not a position that should go on the basis of patronage. You give him, like, the fucking head of a post office or something. You know what I mean? You give him something small. You don't give him the most prestigious position we could give him, because he's not an MP, so he can't be a fucking minister. Actually, well, he could be a minister in the Lords, but
he's a Lord.
Yeah, he's not going to be he's not going to be a minister for the fact that he was already forced to resign twice from the government.
Twice.
Yeah, mad. And now thrice, I suppose, technically, because he's not part of the government. Whatever. I've forgotten where I was going with it. Anyway, the point is, what did he actually do? He got the worst candidates ever who were shit at their job and, all dead behind the eyes freak robots into Parliament. And for that, he was given the most prestigious thing ever. And it turns out we might probably still be paying him. Because the severance package, because for some reason he wasn't fired, he was allowed to resign, and therefore he gets a severance package, means we're probably paying him hundreds of thousands of pounds for the next few years.
It's incredible. Like, somebody from the council that is in my area, they all defected en masse from the Labour Party to an independent group, right? Because a bunch of them wanted to stand previously and had been blocked because of due diligence things. And one of the due diligence investigations into one of the local councillors in my area, I will not name who they are, literally fucking mentioned me. I.e., they replied to one of my tweets saying thank you, and that got them disbarred from running, I think, for a county councillor for the Labour Party.
That's
right.
mental.
That is disbarring. Replying to a No Justice MTG tweet is disbarring from holding office.
Honestly,
as a Labour Party member, but being the best friend, being the best pal of Jeffrey Epstein, perfectly fine.
But honestly,
until it isn't.
But honestly, that's a flex, Queen. That's a flex. You have that kind of power now. You can get, like, you are powerful enough to get people deselected merely by being in your orbit.
It's so true.
That's
It's so
honestly,
true.
you know what I mean. Just take a bow. That's lovely.
I
And also,
wonder how many like internal people at Labour HQ watch my streams. Just like hate watching it. If you are hate watching it, good. I'm glad that you hate me. I hate you too. The feeling's mutual.
if you are watching as well, have you played a game called Roblox? Have you done that? I honestly, I think you should really think about playing Roblox. Solo player, obviously. Although if you all want to get together and do a multiplayer, that would also be very fun. Just saying. Anyway, for fuck's sake, I had a point and it was also revealed that Morgan McSweeney gave over a database of information to Peter Mandelson to be involved in this selection of candidates for the last general election, which included reasons for disbarment, including things like liking tweets from certain groups. So just liking a tweet from a certain group, you were put on this database as a person who could not be a candidate for any position for the Labour Party. And I'm not talking like Al Qaeda. I'm talking like Greenpeace. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like the Uno reverse of the fact that Morgan McSweeney's first foray into politics was working for Peter Mandelson's Excalibur, which is a big spreadsheet on their PC they had with all their compromat for the people in the Labour Party.
Because that's all these people are. They're just like, they're literally
vipers.
Professional snakes. They're professional scum who do nothing but stab people in the back and undermine them for their own, like, petty little political reasons. It's embarrassing. That's how they live their entire lives. They're like the shittest little mafia group. Fuck them.
Had a passing knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein, hardly knew him. Listen, I don't know about you, but how many people that you hardly know do you then go and stay at the houses of?
And get sent tens of thousands of pounds and email them saying you're going to get them a shorter sentence for their child sex offences.
And message them such phrases as yum yum.
Yeah. Yeah, how many times have you been photographed in your underwear in the house of someone you hardly know? Because apparently Peter Mandelson was photographed in his underwear many times at various houses of a person he didn't know.
Although, to be fair, these photos came out in the latest Epstein drops and wouldn't have been known to the government at the time of the appointment. But the fucking picture of him blowing out candles at a birthday party with fucking Jeffrey Epstein was widely shared. Zara Sultana was quote tweeting Keir Starmer with it on Twitter, right? Like,
yeah. But he's literally doing the Trump thing. Like, Trump's like, Melania Trump, I don't even know her. Who is she? I've never heard of her. Like, he's doing that bit. Fuck's sake. Thank you. I've turned the noise thing off because it distracts me. But thank you to James for 5 gifted memberships on the YouTube. Thank you to... Oh, we were actually on a hype train. I didn't even know. Thank you, Dingus, for resubscribing. Thank you, Eric the Red, for resubscribing. Thank you, Dr. Phil Decker with Bitty Bits and Sussel Snake with Bitty Bits. If Savile was still alive, Starmer would have appointed him USA ambassador. Well, look, we have problems with America, and Jim would have fixed it. Can we get some lols in chat for him being dead? Wrong'un. Although, to be fair, I'm still not entirely sure, because even before I knew he was a nonce, I always found him creepy.
Yeah, like
it was
he's
never...
the weirdest guy to have as a children's TV presenter.
Well, not just a children's TV presenter, but like one of the most highly regarded, highest watched presenters in the country for like decades. And you look at him, you're like, he's the creepiest cunt ever. It's like, I have the same opinion of him as I do of clowns. How did clowns become associated with fun? Or being comedic? They're fucking terrifying.
Yeah, he's like a comforting children's TV presenter in the way that Mr. Nosy Bonk was a comforting children's TV presenter.
Or Papa Lazaro. For anyone who gets that reference. You're my wife now.
Well, Peter Mandelson was asked about this in the vetting process that was carried out, and we will be publishing the documents, working...
What fucking vetting process? There wasn't one. It was, oh no, we're just going to do it anyway, fuck you. Was the vetting process for that. Like, literally, and the fucking charade this week. For those, I think I mentioned this the other day, and I was very ranty and unformed that day as well. of this vote that happened yesterday, right, in Parliament, where they were literally trying to cover it up. They tried to pretend that, oh, well, this amendment to the Tory, it's called a humble address, right? Just for Americans. This is how pathetic Britain is. There's a thing called a humble address, where Parliament can seek to force the government to do something by putting a humble address, which is a thing where they ask the king to force the government to do a thing, because the king is above Parliament. And it's called a humble address. And it makes me want to tear my fucking skin off with embarrassment. Anyway,
I did not know that this was a thing, by the way, Chan.
Yeah, it's fucking tragic. It's a perfectly reasonable thing to have if you don't have a king. If you have like a head of in Ireland, I presume they have a similar function with the Dáil and the Taoiseach and the president, right? But at least that guy's elected and he's a president. He's largely a figurehead, but he does. Well, sorry, he is a she now. Of course, sorry, I'm still thinking of
Michael Higgins.
Michael Higgins. Who, again, as someone pointed out, was like Danny DeVito playing Bernie Sanders, which is it's the most perfect description of a human being I've ever heard. Anyway, so the humble address, blah blah blah, right? And the government wanted to amend it to try and not reveal all of the documents based on ones that might be of national security interest. And the point was put to them: if that's true, you can do it on the Privy Council, which is the group of top parliamentarians and civil servants who are given privileged access to sensitive information on the basis that they never reveal that information. But on the public's behalf, they can look at it, check that the government aren't bullshitting, that there is a national security issue, and go, yeah, no, there's a national security issue, and leave it, right? So
wasn't Peter Mandelson on the Privy Council?
Till Monday. So even though it was known since September by the government, all of the noncery, and it's been known since 2019 of some of the noncery, he was on the Privy Council with access to literally like nuclear secrets until Monday of this week.
Incredible.
Anyway,
hopefully he didn't pass any nuclear secrets to the Noncy boy that we were just mentioning.
Well, I mean, why would he want any of that kind of sensitive national information? It's not like he was a honeypot for Israel. Oh no. Anyway, so you can either do that, or you can send it to the International Security Committee, or whatever the fuck they're called, right?
Well, whoa. Information to Israel, I have been reliably informed he was a Russian asset.
The fact that they're trying to push that shit, they're trying to Russiagate him from beyond the grave. Anyway.
Well, I don't doubt that he probably had loads of links to dodgy motherfuckers from Russia, but it's just obvious that they're going with it as the main line to distract from his obvious ties to Mossad.
Yeah, like when you're doing winky face, no, I'm not a Mossad agent with a former fucking Prime Minister of Israel, I think you might be a Mossad agent. Anyway, so those are the two things. They said, well, these are the ways around it, so you don't have to put this amendment. And they went, no, we do, because national security...
was the one who Yeah, and Jeremy was the one who stood up in Parliament and said, yeah, this should be scrutinised by the National Security Committee.
Yeah. And eventually, so many Labour backbenchers went, this is nonsense, that eventually they pulled it. They just went, no, we'll do it unamended. So, just openly saying that it was a lie then. Because if it was a national security thing, you could have done the Privy Council. And you didn't even fucking bother. Because this is the thing. The Privy Council can call your bluff. Right? If the Privy Council meet and you show them the information and they go, well, this isn't national security, they can then tell to the public and say, no, it's not national security, they're fucking lying to you, and can be held in contempt of Parliament. And it can bring a government down. Anyway, the point being, the British government lied this week and pretended that their cover-up of a paedophile scandal wasn't a cover-up of a paedophile scandal. It's nice they're quiet, isn't it?
Oh God, the adults are so in the room right now.
Alongside the police, but also the relevant parliamentary committee on this. But Peter Mandelson lied repeatedly to the Prime Minister and his team, and the Prime Minister today has said that he is sorry for having appointed him, that obviously had he known then what we all know now, there was no...
We did know. There was plenty of information. Stop lying. Like, this is a bombshell. We had no idea he was friends with a pedo.
No way he would have appointed him to be our ambassador in Washington. So, you know, I think that I would rather be sitting here, obviously, talking about the big issues of the day that the government is trying to grapple with, whether...
I think this is a big issue of the day, and the government are trying really badly to grapple with it.
I mean, this is probably the best reason that you have for Starmer to fucking go. Like, if you genuinely believe, if you genuinely as a government, as government ministers, as cabinet members, as MPs in Parliament, if you genuinely think that the worst part of this is that it's stopping you from putting the message through about all the good stuff that you're presumably doing, or you think that you're doing, right? Then you'd go, fine, to stop this madness, to try and make sure that we're not having to deal with this, Keir Starmer will resign, we'll deal with the Peter Mandelson shit, and we'll just clean house, right? But they don't care. They don't care about what they're doing good for the country, because they're precious little good of it anyway. They care far more about being in charge of the ashes than actually wanting to govern the country properly. Otherwise, he would go. He would have gone yesterday if that was what they cared about.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. 100%.
It's in my own area of trying to ensure that we reform the water system so we don't have pollution in our rivers. Obviously, people have got questions that the government needs to answer
There are hands
tonight.
up already, which
Yes,
we'll be
but
coming to in a minute.
it's a real shame that this man, Peter Mandelson, has betrayed the British people, he's betrayed our government, he's lied repeatedly.
Okay, but, like, so has Keir Starmer. By appointing him, he has betrayed the UK. Fundamentally, from the to not take this appointment serious, and again, an appointment we didn't need to make. But let's say, for instance, there was a reason to appoint a new person, right? To take it this lightly, the most important ambassadorial position that we have, given that we're America's little fucking bitch. So this relationship is quite important.
He's the king of the cuck chair.
Yeah, exactly. He's the king. He's the first in line to mop up after the bull is done. You know,
so true.
To treat it this glibly, with this little amount of like scrutiny and seriousness. That's the word, right? They're not serious people. They're not.
Nope.
Fundamentally, they're not adults in the room. They're fucking snakes in the grass.
So true. That's a good line.
Thank you. I could right off the fucking dome, that one. Love it.
You did,
To the Prime Minister, and
Okay,
we will be
you've made that
publishing
point.
those documents around the vetting process.
Should Keir Starmer resign, Julia?
Well, look, I was in the chamber during Prime Minister's questions this week, and
Even the fucking just say yes. You're the Tory. Say yes. What the fuck? Surely this is the biggest, easiest home run ever. Just say yeah. You should fucking resign. He sent Nancy McNunceface to fucking Washington. Yes. For legal reasons, he has not been. You know what I'm fucking saying.
on the third question, when it was clear that he was aware of the ongoing relationship between Epstein and Mandelson at the time that he was appointed, you could feel the air leave the room. And at that point, I thought it's over. This man has lost all authority to govern. So whether or not you buy into what he's saying, I don't think that his MPs are going to listen to him anymore. We've spent the entire...
To be fair, that's actually not a bad piece of analysis. Like, usually when one side of the chamber starts doing the rah, 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 they get a response from the other side. It's like football fans cheering or singing songs against each other.
This is in a box, in a box.
That would be fucking based as hell if anyone ever sang that in Parliament.
Although, to be fair, speaking of like things committed to Hansard, did you see that Zara Sultana in the chamber said besties with the convicted nuns?
Literally did. Literally, that's up there now with George Galloway saying spunk-loving sluts in Parliament as well.
Yeah, it's up there with who'd from Australia? What's the fuck's that? How have I forgotten the name? Fatima Payman.
Yeah.
Committing fucking Kaisen and 6-7 to Hansard in Australia. They must have brain rot from watching too much Kaisen.
week talking about the Mandelson scandal, and now we've got a process in train that's going to take this government's energy for the coming weeks and months ahead. And while that's underway, every single Labour minister and cabinet minister is going to be thinking about what's coming next.
Anyway, sorry, the serious point I was going to make is the Labour backbenchers were giving him nothing. Like they've like emotionally detached themselves completely now. They don't want anything to do with the guy. Because, like, in as much as Mandelson is soiled goods, so is McSweeney and Starmer. And they're, like, conjoined political twins at this point. If one of them goes, the other one has no reason to be there.
Well, it's Keith Harris Norval, as I said.
Yeah. And one without the other is either just a puppet on the floor doing nothing, or a man pretending to talk through his hand which is just weird. They're a double act. It has to work together or not at all.
And how they should position themselves. They're not going to be governing, and that is the fundamental problem that Keir Starmer has now. And I have to say, I simply do not buy this betrayal narrative, the idea that they were lied to, because ask yourselves, you know, when you hear the words Peter Mandelson, before any of this happened, what did you think? You think the guy's slippery.
Yeah, but everyone thinks that about Starmer as well. And, like, it's not so... Like, I assume that people lied to him. I assume Mandelson lied to him, but can we not expect from a Prime Minister slightly better judgment than to just believe an obvious liar's lies? Because I reckon Vladimir Putin might not tell the truth 100% of the time, and yet you're still going to have to negotiate with the cunt. Do you know what I mean?
That's the reality of Donald Trump, right? And he's in this position because he keeps getting hoodwinked by very easy, disprovable lies by Vladimir Putin, right?
Well, and not just that, but because he literally is like, he is sort of a anchorman, where he'll just sort of read whatever is put in front of him, right? Like, whatever you tell Donald Trump, he'll just believe it. So he'll come out of one meeting with like Emmanuel Macron going, Europe's awesome. We should give loads of money to NATO. That's fantastic. And then he'll go home and Steve Bannon will be in his ear and he'll be like, white genocide! Like, because he's just whatever happens. Well, the last person to speak to him is the only thing he can remember. It's like he only has room in his head for one conversation. And as soon as a new one enters, the other one gets pushed out and he completely forgets it ever happened. And so the only piece of information in his head is the last thing he heard.
That's probably why him and Joe Rogan get on so well, because Joe Rogan is the very same.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's a fucking... at least Joe Rogan goes like, oh, have you ever tried meth? Get that video of me up on meth. Like, just... at least that's sort of funny, whereas Donald Trump's just dangerous.
True.
You know, everybody thinks the guy's slippery. The guy resigned or was sacked twice. You think Oleg Deripaska, you think Jeffrey Robinson, and the idea that...
Not just that. Within the same week. Sorry, we keep pausing, but there's so much to go on here. Last week, it was the Greens are soft on Putin, and yet you kept fucking Deripaska's yum buddy as the fucking as their ambassador.
Oleg Deripaska is the same oligarch that spoke with fucking Paul Manafort about Ukraine in 2017.
Yep.
He was the go-between between the fucking Russian oligarchs and the fucking Russian asset in the Trump campaign.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah, the full thing from Hansard. That's right, the leader of the Labour Party and Prime Minister has full confidence in a man who was besties with a convicted nonce. That's in Hansard now, along with all of Churchill's great speeches. For all the good that you have served, for the name of God, go.
It's also, luckily, in alongside Mike Gapes talking about mixing the milks.
That's also true, yeah.
Keir Starmer was not aware that this is a character that comes with political risk. Ministers have actually admitted that they accepted there was political risk, but they believed that Mandelson had particular special skills that overrode that risk. And I'm afraid that means that he's injected Mandelson's poison right into the heart of this government. Now, he could have been a historical figure which causes mild embarrassment to the Labour Party, but is a man of the past. Keir Starmer placed this man directly at the heart of his government into a highly important relationship about security and trade, and now it's blown up in his face. And I'm afraid the idea that it's all, I've been lied to, it's a betrayal of trust, I'm afraid nobody buys it, and none of his MPs bought it by the end of Wednesday.
So why didn't the Conservatives...
Literally.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong.
Like,
I hate agreeing with Tories. I've been spent all week agreeing with Tories.
It's been really annoying. Like, it was really annoying thinking, well, I hope their humble address gets passed. Because they weren't doing it for any good reason. They don't give a fuck about the noncing. Jesus Christ, half of them are fucking nonces. Like, it's the Tory party. This is the same party that voted to keep Pincher by name, Pincher by nature. Like, I don't give a fuck about their cunts. But they were correct. We do need to know this information. Honestly, I think there should be an independent inquiry into this. Because this is like really, really basic corruption at the very heart of government. This needs to be rooted
it's
out.
Everything about the Labour right. This is the absolute kind of siren song of the Labour right. It's the end. It's the end of it. It's the fucking final. It's the finale.
Yeah, and it's the natural end point of a group of people who are only obsessed with factionalism. They got drunk on power and went, oh, fuck it. Should we put Nancy McNon's face into this really high-profile position? Yeah, we're powerful. We won. Fuck you, world. We're fucking around and we'll never find out. Yeah. This is the finding out stage.
To object to Peter Mandelson's appointment.
Oh, no, I'm having to rape... sorry. I'm having to... reap seeds that I've sown. It's difficult trying to do a famous phrase backwards. That was terrible. Cut that shit out as well.
At the time.
I find this an extraordinary new line that's coming out today. That's almost the Conservatives.
Well, I'm just saying, if the Conservative line is that this was in the public domain, it was information that was brought into the public domain initially by the Financial Times, and Kemi Badenoch made much of that yesterday. So it was known at Westminster. So.
Well, at the time,
I'm just asking, why didn't you object to the
in Parliament who were asking for a proper procedure, particularly the Foreign Affairs Select Committee.
Did the Conservatives object to Mandelson being appointed because of his links with Epstein?
Kemi was the person in September that was asking Keir Starmer whether he should have
asking at the time when Mandelson was appointed.
Well, I think it happened
did the
pretty
Conservatives
shortly
object to him
after...
being appointed because of his connections to Epstein?
Well, I think we had concerns about Mandelson being in that relationship, particularly as there was a good ambassador there at the time, Karen Pierce, whom Trump actually had a very good relationship with. I think Trump himself called Peter Mandelson Slippery Pete. And, you know, I think Kemi had just been elected into the role.
Yeah, but this is Trump. I think he meant that as a compliment. That was game recognising game. That's
true, because you know he does mean that, you know?
Yeah.
He gives nicknames of those kinds to people that he likes.
Yeah.
And the idea that it was for us to be, you know, making the judgment on Mandelson.
I'm not saying it was for you. I'm not saying it one way or the other. It's just the Conservatives are saying it was.
Hang on. It is. Hang on. So no. You're the opposition. It is your job to do that. Yes, it is your job to scrutinise the actions of the government. That is precisely your role. The Shadow Home Secretary should have had something to fucking say about this, and they didn't.
The thing is that Foreign Affairs is one of those things that supposedly is like off the books when it comes to government criticism from the opposition. It's a weird convention that we have. What's funny is you can just imagine as soon as Jeremy Corbyn became Prime Minister, that convention would go out the fucking window.
Well, all conventions go out of the window because it's the left. And again, this is where the media sells itself. They were fine with him lying and being corrupt when they was getting rid of the left, but now it's affecting people who aren't woke, and therefore he must be destroyed. Like this is the same thing. It's the same MO as it's always been. It's just now he's not trot hunting, so he's of no use to anyone.
Obvious, he should never have been appointed. So I was just wondering
why.
Well,
I think there was a lot of discussion at the time.
Okay.
Fiona. I think there was.
All right. Woman there in the black sweater.
I think Keir Starmer should resign. I think he's an appalling judgment. Or he has made a deliberate decision, a cynical appointment of Peter Mandelson because of his shared acquaintance with Trump, with, in other words, Jeffrey Epstein.
I don't think it's even that. Like, that's the joke, isn't it? That they were both friends of Epstein. But I think it's literally just a factional thing. They got the absolute power corrupts absolutely, and given his position in Parliament, that he's essentially an absolute monarch. He can do what the fuck he likes. And so they went, oh, fuck it. I'll just do this. This is very much his invading Russia, if you want to use historical analogy.
So true. I mean, the thing as well is that they'd spent so much time being totally unscrutinised by the media.
Yeah.
In the run-up to the election, no motherfucker in the press gave the Labour Party the proper scrutiny that it deserved. Michael Crick literally called this out in the May before the election. He literally said, in 18 months' time, the Labour Party is going to be universally unpopular, and the media will have to reckon with itself as to why it was so supine and why it did not properly scrutinise who was going to be getting into government off the back of it. Yeah. He was absolutely correct, down to the very T. Historically unpopular, this government. Yeah. And it's because no one in the media bothered trying to actually scrutinise because it was their guys. Keir Starmer was their man to crush the left.
Yeah, absolutely.
and they went drunk with power on the assumption that that lack of scrutiny would continue.
Well,
And they got into office, and then immediately having prostrated themselves to the Murdoch media, they got into office and immediately the media turned on them because they're fucking rubes. Like, not only do they believe themselves as Machiavellian political geniuses, and the opposite of that is true, they're actually just totally opposite. They're so stupid.
Yeah.
They're so idiotic.
And their modus operandi has been to lie in the most obvious way possible, which was fine when the media weren't pointing it out. But now that they are pointing it out, they still the only operation they have, the only thing they can do is just lie really obviously, which is why they say absurd things like, I've got 12 different coloured bunting and a fucking a tea cozy made out of fucking Union Jacks or whatever, right? Because they just think they can get away with that because they did for like 3 years, and then they became government, and now it's not like the media have to point out the bullshit because it's too obvious now, you know.
Well, it's the public are more important than the Labour Party membership.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And of course, you can't ignore 70 million people. You can ignore like 20,000 momentum people, you know.
So true.
Man in the blue sweater there.
Yeah, it's only today. It's Keir Starmer saying that he asked him direct questions about his relationship and whether he'd received any inducements or anything of the like. And it was in the public domain for this story from the Financial Times a couple of years ago that he was staying in his apartment while...
Well, 7 years ago. Well, 6.5 years, whatever. Incredibly, 7 years ago. It was 2019. That story came out in the Financial Times.
No, the story's in 2023. The 2019 was when the JP Morgan report was done, but that was only internal. Maybe stuff leaked, but the official reporting that was done in the mainstream media.
Okay, I'll let that slide then. But like, I'm pretty sure I was aware of this rumbling before.
We had the photos, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't quite know the full extent of all of the actual documentation.
Don't ever go at this guy as looking like a member of Right Said Fred, okay? Because they're far right scum.
He definitely does, though.
I mean, he does look a bit too sexy for that shirt. Yes, that is true.
Whilst he was still in prison. Is that the depth of the vetting process?
Yeah.
And man there in the black top.
I was a junior lawyer when Keir Starmer was DPP, and he was an inspiring figure at that point in time. He's obviously progressed onto the position that he is in now, but the issues about him appointing Mandelson to his role, it will be subject to scrutiny about the process upon which that took place. But isn't the question, or isn't the issue really about how people like Mandelson have got through that system with someone like Keir Starmer, who is a man of integrity, I believe, and he has been subject to this, these policies and processes that have allowed someone like Mandelson to get to where he is? And doesn't that make the case for having people in the Houses of Parliament who are ordinary people like this Green candidate who is standing in Denton and Gorton, who is a normal person, who is going to, in my view, be someone of integrity, someone who is going to be more reflective of the people, as opposed to just promoting political elites just to get into positions of power?
True.
Yeah.
God, what an absolute giga-chad statement.
Yeah, lovely
Because,
stuff.
like, this is the most important part of all of this, is that the reason why, as you said before, that Peter Mandelson and Morgan McSweeney and Keir Starmer and the Labour right and Tony Blair feel like they can get away with it is because they have done for so long, because they're from the privileged political class. They're part of the permanent political class. Lots of these people have never held down, like, a normal job, like being a plumber, like Hannah Spencer from the Green Party in Gorton and Denton. They've never had to be part of polite society where the rules apply. That's the thing about British political system. The class system is so ingrained. And it's not just bourgeois versus proletariat, aristocrats versus commoners, or whatever it is. There's an elite political class, a political and media class, and everybody else. There is a big club, and no one else is in it. And when they're in the club, they feel like they're invincible. Yeah. And as long as they have the right connections in the media, they can create a veil of secrecy and a level of protection that nobody else is afforded, that no one else is afforded, and they let that get to them, because they've never had to deal with the consequences that normal people have to deal with, where it led them to the point of appointing someone like Mandelson to the position that he was in, because he was the guy who had all the compromat from the 2000s, so people thought that he would be untouchable. And the reality is that once Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie had gotten the Epstein files released from the DOJ in America, suddenly he couldn't be protected because it was happening overseas. And that's the reality. Like, if Hannah Spencer had been doing any of these things, of course she wouldn't have done, because she's a normal person. She's not in the high-flying society world where these people are doing this heinous shit in the background, right? It means that she is totally unbeholden to those kind of desires, those kind of interests, those kinds of groups of people. She'll be only there to represent the constituents of Gorton and Denton, which is why you should vote Green.
True.
And why it's so sad that the Labour Party, that should be the party of organised labour, that should be the party that promotes MPs through the trade unions, having worked normal jobs and represented normal working people in the workplace via the trade union movement, and it doesn't. Yeah. It gets people from Oxbridge, it gets PPE degree people who go through as political spads, or as advisors, or as lawyers, or as political actors into roles in Parliament rather than regular working people.
That's outrageous.
This is the death of the Labour Party.
That's outrageous. The Labour Party would never send a former spad PPE from Oxbridge to represent them on, say, Question Time. That would never happen. Someone who was a lobbyist for a fucking City of London firm. No. Don't be so oh shit. Oh no, they did.
Keir Starmer, the only reason he is the Prime Minister, the reason he won the general election, is because the Tory vote collapsed, because the British public had finally had enough of their betrayal and their corruption. Keir Starmer's entire offering to the...
And then you welcomed them into your party. Like, the people had enough of their corruption and evil. So now they just joined the Reform Party instead. Brilliant political analysis there.
It's basically the Johnson cabinet.
Yeah.
British electorate was simply that he would not be corrupt and sleazy like the Tories. And what have we seen since then? An unholy fire hose of corruption and sleaze. One scandal after another. It started with Lord Ali. Do you remember him? One of Labour's biggest donors, who got it past, no less, to number 10 Downing Street. Then it turned out Keir Starmer had somehow forgotten to declare that he and his wife had received thousands of pounds of donations in the form of designer clothes and even designer spectacles and hospitality from Lord Ali. Then he put one of his...
See, this is what this is the thing I despise most about Keir Starmer, is that he's making me listen to a thing Zia Yusuf has said, and my skin isn't crawling. I actually agree. He's making good points really well. And Keir Starmer, I will never forgive you for that. Never.
Yep. I mean, literally, Reform will win the next election because how can you criticise what he's saying?
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
He's just 100% correct. And because Reform have no record in government, apart from like the former Tories now, I guess, but the main Reform people have no record in government to criticise. Yep. It's a blank slate. Yep. All they have to do is fire fucking broadsides of the Tories and Labour and go, we don't have this record, we're different, we'll be better. They of course won't be. They'll be corrupt as fuck. They're rich cunts, of course they will be.
Yep.
But they'll get away with it and they'll get elected and they'll ruin the fucking country. Yep. And it's Keir Starmer's fault. It's unilaterally his fucking fault.
Yep.
Fuck him.
And the worst thing is, right, not only are they paving the way for the fascist party to get in, they're already pre-doing the fascism, so when they get in, they don't even have to do anything. Like
literally, they're gonna get into government, have access to fucking Shabana Mahmood's panopticon.
Yeah. I literally said the other day, at least Hitler had to pass his own enabling act to take over the state. These motherfuckers are going to walk in and go, oh, there's already a fascist state here. Cool, let's do the fascism then. Fucking hell.
Thank you, NTJ Mule, for the raid. Welcome. You're through to the No Justice stream. We talk about UK politics from a socialist perspective, 6 days a week. If that sounds like your thing, please consider dropping a follow. It is free. I'm here with Kevin Logan, KFLogan1875 on Twitch, who also is a socialist from the UK. You should also follow. It is also free, and it's also free for everyone to follow DJ Mule in my chat as well.
Although DJ Mule's people, you probably may have entered hearing me say, let's do the fascism. You can decide. You can decide whether you think that was out or in context. I've just, it's up to you. It's up to you. Now everyone go and follow DJ Mule. We had a breaking of the ice recently, he and I didn't realise I was banned in his chat, and I was like, I don't even know why the fuck I don't think I've ever talked to him. yeah. But we sorted that out. It was fine.
His donors in a cushy job in the Treasury without telling anyone that he was a donor. He's managed to find time to cancel elections for millions of people, drive farmers to suicide, and withdraw the right to jury trial from British people. And now we find out, by the way, I think the question...
And the reason Zia Yusuf's annoyed is because he wanted to do that. You don't even... He was looking forward to getting rid of jury trials. And now, now he's going to get in and be like, oh, they already did the fascism.
I love how when it comes to the left's concerns with Keir Starmer, like when the left have problems with Keir Starmer, it's he sold weapons to a country committing genocide. He took welfare away from the disabled and sent hundreds of thousands of them potentially into even more poverty. The guy is just an absolute cuck boy to Donald Trump, going out and helping him commit war crimes in the fucking Caribbean Sea. And when the right-wingers get mad, it's, oh, farmers were mad that millionaires got taxed. Oh, and I'm like, fuck off, mate. There's some real problems.
True. Reminds me, I was watching a thing with George Galloway the other day because someone had sent it to me. Anyway, and it was like, oh, why we can't do like an official pact with your party, you know, the Corbyn Sultana party. And literally the only thing he seemed to say was, well, we have differences of agreement. Like, they think men can be women. That was it. And I was like, oh, come on, mate. That's literally your whole thing now, is it? I'm just, look, yes. We want Marxism, but also trans people in camps. And look, your party is saying, well, look, we're with you on the economics. Can we just not have the camps? And we can't have that.
What's the Workers' Party is entirely set up by like a splinter group of Marxist-Leninists, right? Who originally from the Communist Party and then became CBGBML, and then they had an electoral front that they then left and then came back and then left again. And like one of them is Jyoti Bra, part of the Bra family, who are like weirdo like Marxist-Leninists who just seem to crop up everywhere, and I don't know what they fucking do for work. They never seem to actually do anything real in real life. And all she was one who spoke with Caleb Morpin about how they both hate trans people.
Yes, because that's the only reason I know who Jyoti Bra is, from the Thought Slime video about that exact conversation. Yeah, the Burger King. Anyway, hang on, I think I've got a thing.
Very cringe.
Yes.
Very.
So, thank you, Vicky, with the £5, who says a very pertinent point. I bet more people on benefits were driven to suicide, yet no mention of that from Zia. True.
I mean, again, the benefit claimants were driven to suicide by not being able to afford to live. The millionaire farmers that Zia is backing here killed themselves because their kids might not be as rich millionaires as them, even though they would definitely still be millionaires.
Yeah.
So far been incisive, but I don't think quite do justice to what Keir Starmer's admitted that he knew. Keir Starmer in Parliament admitted that he knew that Peter Mandelson continued his disgusting friendship with Jeffrey Epstein even after Epstein had become a convicted paedophile. Now we know that Mandelson received tens of thousands of dollars at least from Jeffrey Epstein, probably more, but that's what we all know already. And what do we also know? He leaked information about the €500 billion bailout and Gordon Brown's resignation before the public knew anything about it. And get this too, because I don't know how much time people watching this program have spent looking at the appalling things on the Justice Department's website. But on the day that Jeffrey Epstein was released from prison for having been in jail for paedophilia, he received an email from Peter Mandelson saying, and I quote, "Liberation Day." Keir Starmer chose to ignore the advice of security services and make this man Britain's ambassador to the United States. Yes, for sure, Peter Mandelson almost certainly deserves to be in jail, but the buck stops with the executive.
Well, exactly. He does deserve to be in jail, but ultimately, one thing that I think should stain the reputation of this government and of Keir Starmer and Morgan McSweeney is, at no point during any of this did they remove him from the Labour Party. At all.
Nope. He left himself.
Yeah. Even after he was forced to fucking resign from his position in Washington, he was still a member of the House of Lords and a member of the Labour Party until yesterday. No, yesterday, the day before. Yeah.
He resigned from both.
He resigned. Like, they didn't take any actual action against him whatsoever.
Yeah, Joe Bird was removed from the Labour Party for making a joke about the fact that she herself is Jewish.
Yeah. Amazing. Fucking amazing.
Keir Starmer is a disgrace to his office and should resign.
So, Peter Mandelson, obviously, is not here to answer into any of this. I have to say that the BBC...
Well, I mean, you say he's not here to answer it, but people have tried to contact him, and he does seem very quiet. So clearly he doesn't want to say anything about this. So I think we just go for it. Who cares? He's been given a right to reply and has chosen not to. That's the end of it.
It is funny that when Zia Yusuf mentions the Liberation Day email, that's not the worst part of that email chain. Okay. They both make sex jokes at each other.
Naturally, yeah. Because that's what you should definitely do with a person who's just been released from jail for being a nonce, is do sex jokes. Okay.
She understands that Peter Mandelson's position is that he has not acted in any way criminally and that he was not motivated by financial gain. That is his response.
Both of which are lies. I'm just saying that right now.
Zia, what do you make of the fact that Nigel Farage said of Mandelson when he was appointed, he's a very clever man, he'll be respected because he has a big brain, and that he'd be willing to help Mandelson negotiate with the Trump administration?
Well, the thing Nigel also said at the time, a multitude of times, that given Nigel's close relationship with the President of the United States, he offered himself to be
but we're talking about Mandelson tonight here.
And it should be remembered that Donald Trump literally lobbied and literally said publicly that he should be made the ambassador, which is also absolutely, completely against any protocol to suggest to a foreign government who should be the ambassador to that government.
Also, hang on a minute. Okay. The whole point of this conversation is we are rightly admonishing Peter Mandelson for remaining friends with Jeffrey Epstein even after he was found out to have engaged in sex crimes. Okay, you've just said, Zia Yusuf, that Nigel Farage is good friends with Donald Trump. Would you like to tell me what he was found civilly liable for?
Yeah. Also,
Would
do you
it
want to
have been
mention?
rape without any chance?
Do you want to like? We're all having a go at Peter Mandelson for the stuff that's been revealed in the Epstein files. What about Nigel Farage's best friend Donald Trump, who's replete in the fucking files? Also, the fact that a former treasurer of the Reform Party was mentioned, not just mentioned, was directly contacted by one of Ghislaine Maxwell's people, saying that she was rather annoyed that he hadn't informed her that he was going to be in New York because she wanted to meet up and have dinner again, showing that they had a pre-existing relationship of some kind.
If we're going to be rightly admonishing people for remaining friends with sex criminals, maybe that should also be pointed towards Nigel Farage for being friends with Donald Trump.
That is also true. Yeah. Or indeed, yes, Steve Bannon, who again is thick as thieves with Jeffrey Epstein.
Sure, but that's not the point. The point is that it was... hang on, Zia. The point is that what was known about Mandelson in terms of the fact that he had stayed at the house of a convicted paedophile while he was in prison. That was in the public domain. Nonetheless, Nigel Farage seemed to think his appointment wasn't too bad.
Yeah, look, I understand that line of questioning, and I think it's a reasonable one, but I would say that...
no, you don't get to do that. You can't be like, this is an absolute disgrace, he should resign. And then go, well, I see that line of argumentation, but I see a nuance in this, actually.
Again, because the important thing is that everything Starmer knew at the time of the appointment, Farage also knew at the time of the appointment. Yep. They're both fucking done in by this. If that's the case...
Yep, absolutely.
If you're the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, you have at your disposal the entire apparatus of state of this country, including our security services.
But the key fact about Epstein was known.
That's why I say the buck stops
publicly
with the executive. Nigel Farage is not the Prime Minister. Nigel Farage is not the person...
No, but he knew the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
Or at least most of it.
Enough shit to want to admonish them for it.
Yeah. But as he's friends with Donald Trump, he's clearly fine with paedophiles. Simple.
Who appointed Peter Mandelson to be this country's ambassador to the United States of America.
Did you see Munira Wilson's face then? Like, her jaw couldn't have been more on the floor. She was aghast.
Defiance of advice, by the way, from security services, as has been widely reported. So I'm afraid we've got to go back to the original question, which is, should Keir Starmer resign? If you have at your disposal the entire security services and you choose to ignore them and put your buddy and somebody who has frankly been, almost the embodiment of sleaze in this country. His nickname was literally the Prince of Darkness. That was literally his nickname. Anyone in this audience who would have hired people or done
So
an
why is he
interview,
a good? Why did Nigel Farage say it was a good appointment? If he's
Yeah.
so sleazy and, of course, the Prince of Darkness, which is true, he is both of those things and a monster, why did Nigel Farage praise the appointment?
Yep. It's almost as if Nigel Farage is as corrupt as all of these people.
Yep.
Just saying. Don't be surprised if his name pops up in further revelations about Epstein. Don't be surprised about that. I'm not accusing him of illegality. I'm suggesting that he had contacts with these people. Because look at all his friends. They all had contacts. So unless he's Billy No Mates, who doesn't get an invite to the island, getting musked, as I believe it's now known, yeah.
Candidate was widely reputed to be known as the Prince of Darkness, you'd probably ask a few more questions. So I'm afraid...
Good night, Phantom of Black. Thanks for stopping by.
Trying to divert responsibility away from the Prime Minister of this country, who is the executive and who appointed him, I think is misguided.
Sure. I'm not trying to say that anyone else is responsible.
Why are you
I'm simply
clapping?
pointing out
Yeah, why are you
what
clapping?
was said about his appointment at the time. Man here in the front in the dark blue sweater.
I wonder if there's any skeletons in the Reform Party candidates.
True.
Trump!
True.
Trump fucked kids!
Yeah.
Well, there have been a few here. I don't know if you want to quickly respond to that.
I think I might respectfully ask for you to be a bit more precise in your question.
Well, we have heard of various things going on in the past. I mean, it's not like you're squeaky clean, so...
Well, I mean, I don't know. The former leader of Reform UK in Wales is in prison, it's 10.5 years, I think, for accepting bribes from a former pro-Russian Ukrainian politician. I mean, that we're asking about Mandelson, but since you mentioned that, do you want to respond to that, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, but that is correct. Nathan Gill is someone I've never met, I've never spoken to.
Wow, a lot of people are saying that about Epstein. That's interesting, isn't it? It's almost as if you don't necessarily have to have met or spoken to someone to engage in the same level of corruption as them. Jeez.
He was a
Predates
close
my time.
advisor to Nigel
He was a part of Reform when most people in this country didn't know who Reform was. Look, I don't want to minimise it in the sense he's clearly a traitor to this country. He's a bad apple. He deserves to be in jail. He deserves the sentence that he...
Yeah, but he's a bad apple in the bad apple party. Well, that's the problem.
got, and Reform expelled him even back in those early days, the moment that they knew about that. That isn't what's happening here. He certainly was not made the ambassador to the United States of America, and he was not vetted by our security services. So listen, you know, every political party, once it gets to a certain scale, is going to have some bad apples. Again, I'm not minimising it. Again, I want to repeat.
You are very much minimising
to be in jail. But we should not try to this whataboutery, given that this country right now is in a serious state of crisis. I actually agree with the point that right now Keir Starmer is in exactly the position a multitude of Tory prime ministers were, which is spending all of his cognitive capacity and his time fighting for his own survival. All of his cabinet ministers are plotting against him. And the real losers, by the way, are the British people who have not had a competent, loyal
Let me
government
bring in the rest of the
decades.
panel here. Ollie.
Look,
Should Keir Starmer go? That's basically it.
Yeah, that's the question. Look, I'm generally a pretty forgiving person, and I think our politics is poorer for its lack of empathy. I think most people should not be defined by the worst thing that they've ever done in their lives, and most people deserve a second chance. I do, however, have some moral boundaries, and one of them is that I think it is wrong to have sex with children, and I wouldn't want to be friends with anyone that did that.
Whoa, Oliver, mate. Let's calm it down. That's a big claim. You think
it's
it's
not something we can't take back.
Exactly. I'm just exactly. Think through that. Come on now. Having sex with children is bad. Do you want to make it in Westminster? Because it does not sound like you want to be part of Westminster at all, my friend. Just saying. Think of your future. Yeah.
And I certainly wouldn't want to work with them. If I did, I think you'd all be asking me questions, and they'd be valid ones. That is apparently now a fringe position for some people at the top of the Labour Party, which is an extraordinary thing to be able to say.
That's a fucking
I don't know about you. I don't know any paedophiles. I don't know anyone that's running.
That's a zing. Look, he set up that whole thing to be like, see, I think fucking kids is bad. Whereas the Labour Party leadership, they're not so sure.
What's the quote about, like, the most radical thing to do is to explain things are what they are, or whatever it was?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, again, it's just pointing out the elephant in the room. It's literally just pointing and going, elephant!
Big elephant right there.
Yeah, it's right there. And the rest of them were like, what's he talking about? This conspiracy theorist talking about an elephant. I don't see an elephant.
A global sex trafficking ring. Like, these are extraordinary things that we're talking about here. And not only that, and I should be clear, like, that there's some brilliant journalism that my colleagues at the New Statesman have done over the last couple of days.
Oh, there you go,
Our political
company
editor,
boy.
Alvarez, has reported that...
God, I love you. Gotta get their little plug in. Love it.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, if I worked for, say, Navarra, I'd mention I worked at Navarra. Because it's a good way of doing, like, you know...
Luckily, neither of us have ever worked for Navarra Media, so
no,
it's
that
not
is crazy. Like, none of us were working there, like, literally yesterday.
Today.
Well, yeah, it's kind of midday.
Well, it was yesterday, technically, yeah.
Not only did the people at the top of the Labour Party know about this, and that's because this information was available on Google. They don't need the security services to tell them it.
Available on... Again, it's just a lovely kind of deadpan burns.
Well, again, none of this fucking flowery language. Just go, okay, right. The paedophiles fucked kids. That is bad. I believe this is bad, and it's bad to stay friends with them. I do not know any paedophiles myself, luckily. And we knew this because it was on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure Keir Starmer has a phone. He can go on the internet.
Yep. Yeah. And if Google knows it, I think MI5 might also know it. Just a thought. Apparently it was a Rosa Luxemburg quote, and it was, the most revolutionary thing one can do is always to proclaim loudly what is happening.
So true.
True. And just remember, much like the Social Democrats that are currently trying to cover up for their pedo friends, the Social Democrats in Germany killed Rosa Luxemburg.
True.
Or at least got their far-right friends to do it. Whatever.
You say this... because there's a whole slew of information come out. But I think you're referring specifically to the fact that he... I mean, there were photographs of Mandelson's
friendship with Epstein.
and the fact that he stayed in his house.
Whilst he was in prison. Whilst he was in prison. Yeah. And they didn't think that that was disqualifying. They thought, actually, this is our guy. This is our guy that we're going to elevate to the most prestigious diplomatic posting that we have. We're going to make him our man in Washington. And not only that, we're going to bring him back to London every so often to advise us on cabinet reshuffles. And actually, when we're choosing our candidates for the 2024 general election, we're going to let him input on that too, because we think he's a great judge of character. Like, come on.
Roasted. Fucking annihilated. From the top rope.
Yeah.
Ollie Dugmore with a steel chair.
Honestly, I thought at the start he looked distracted, or like, yeah, he wasn't quite there. But that was delightful. That was one of the best deadpan roasts I've ever seen.
Charging the Hadouken.
Absolutely lovely work.
I just add, you know, Keir Starmer promised a few things when he was trying to become Prime Minister. You may remember the Labour Party manifesto had one word on the front. Just said change. He made a really big deal about standards.
And maybe the Prime Minister should change.
True. And ask for spare change
really
on the
big
streets.
Deal of it.
Well, that's how much fucking panhandling is he going to have to do to afford fucking Ukrainian prostitutes now? He's going to have to beg for fucking weeks. He just wants a crumb of dick. Jesus.
And fair play, right? After the sort of moral atrocities of austerity, the COVID contracts, the way that the Tories ran the country, you can understand why he did that. If you're going to stand on the steps of Downing Street and promise that to the British people, and then do this, what does that say about you? What does that say about you?
True.
Let's bring Munira in because she hasn't yet spoken. Munira.
So I think Keir Starmer has clearly shown an absolutely catastrophic...
Error of judgment is the next word she's going to say.
Oh, sorry, I'm doing a Chipmunks bit again.
Error of judgment in appointing Mandelson, knowing what he did, knowing what was in the public domain about Mandelson's relationship with Epstein. And as my party leader, Ed Davey, posed the question at Prime Minister's Questions yesterday, when Starmer made that appointment, was he thinking about the victims of Epstein?
No.
Or was he, as that lady quite correctly said in the audience, thinking about who's the sort of character who can cozy up to a character like Trump? And I suspect it was trying to work out how he was going to continue to cozy up to Trump that led him to appoint Mandelson. But where we are now, I mean, it's an absolute shambles. And frankly, after the soap opera the British people had to suffer under the last Tory government, where we
Yeah,
had
imagine the whole campaign was like, we need to end this Tory chaos. And look at it now. Like, Rishi Sunak's like, motherfuckers, you run this shit into the ground. This is
Yeah, all I did was
embarrassing.
miss out on fucking D-Day celebrations.
Yeah.
No fucking nonce friends being appointed in my mind.
succession of prime ministers, a succession of different ministers in different departments, and all sorts of moral and political failings. I think the British public deserved and expected better, and as Ollie said, they voted for change in 2024, and they want this government focusing on the cost of living crisis, on NHS waiting lists.
Right, but you know what would end the Jeffrey Epstein scandal? Be rejoining the EU.
Oh, so true. Imagine if it's like, yeah, we're going to distract from the Epstein scandal by having another referendum.
Honestly, that might be the kind of scale of thing he needs to do. Just go, fuck it, second referendum, anyone? Just to distract every motherfucker. Or, you know what? Kidnap a foreign leader. Fuck it, it worked for Trump. No one was talking about him being a nonce for like a whole week. So, let's choose one at random. The president of Libya is getting couped tomorrow. Let's go.
What president?
I don't fucking know. Dave the Libyan. I don't know his fucking name.
Gaddafi.
Gaddafi.
On fixing social care, on cleaning up our rivers and seas, and this is a huge distraction. So I say to Labour MPs, and I say to Starmer, put up or shut up, and put yourself to a vote of confidence in Labour MPs so that they can decide whether they want to keep you or not.
But they're not going to fucking vote to bring the government down, because then they all know they're going to well, if there was a general election, they'd all be unseated.
Oh my god, it'd be fucking, yeah, it would literally be an absolute wipeout, a bloodbath.
Yeah, like you're asking for fucking the turkeys to vote to make fucking Bernard Matthews. Bernard Matthews. Oh, or Bernard Manning. They don't like racists as well as turkey murderers. So either way works.
Not, because we need you, the government, to focus on the priorities of the British public and fix all of the broken services in this country which the Tories left behind.
Which you helped destroy.
Yes. Every time they do this, look at public
service
service under the Tories. That was you, motherfuckers.
Yeah. As well as the current leader having murdered all those postmasters. Just saying.
So again, it literally, there was more damage was done to public services during the coalition than the 8 years of Tory government. Sorry, the 9 years of Tory governments that succeeded them.
Well, exactly, yeah, because they didn't have the little Lib Dem bulletproof vest, so they had to be a bit more careful.
Fix our economy, get it growing again, so that we can be prosperous again and a successful nation.
I'll come back to you.
Fiona, I just want to add, and on the point to Zia about skeletons in Reform's closet, I'd like to ask him to maybe just urgently explain whether there was any connection or contact between his party treasurer, Nick Candy, and Epstein, which has been...
Oh, is he still the treasurer? I was on... Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, current treasurer then, whatever. But also, like, how far do you have to reach back with the Lib Dems? Do you go, like, what about Thorpe? What about the former Liberal leader? He was a nonce. Just saying. Like, how far back do you go?
About Limber Opic's relationship with the Cheeky Girls. That's a thing that
True,
happened.
but, you know, he's just like a weird far-righter now.
He's an interesting one. There's so many, like, the Lib Dem to far-right pipeline is very funny. Like, Paul Marshall used to be a Lib Dem.
Yeah, there's some weird ones in there. Liz Truss was a Lib Dem.
Yeah.
Zach Polanski was a Lib Dem. You're right, Zach. I know you're listening. That was a joke. Just saying.
Suggested in some of the documents that have come out from Epstein.
Want to do that? Yeah, sure. So I know Nick Candy well. He's a property developer. He sells high-value properties. And
we know he's we know he's a scumbag. Yeah, we know. Yeah.
Well, like, just the kind of person who would definitely not have good relationships with the Trump and Epstein cadre.
No.
Someone who works in property, like, I don't know, Jared Kushner and people like that.
Yeah. Or indeed Donald Trump.
Yeah. Tony Blair?
Tony Blair, anyone? No?
And that's what he was doing, and there's no evidence from any of the emails that have come out who's doing anything other than trying to sell some properties. But Nick Handy was not.
Well, he had a pre-existing relationship, seemingly, and had dinner with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Good friends.
So, like, again, that's not necessarily, it doesn't mean you're illegal. You know, people lived next to Fred West and didn't know what was going on, so, you know, maybe he was perfectly innocent, a sweet summer child, Mr. Candy, but I don't think so.
Not, and never has been, and probably, as much as I love Nick, is not ever going to be the Prime Minister of this country, nor Britain's ambassador to the United Kingdom.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so it doesn't matter if he was noncing because he isn't the Prime Minister. Is that your argument, mate? What the fuck? Okay, so all paedophiles in prison should be released because none of those are the Prime Minister, so it doesn't matter. What the fuck are you talking about?
I genuinely find it fascinating that a multitude of panelists now have tried to bring one of the biggest crises, objectively, this country has faced in years, back to reform in any which...
Yeah, because it's politics, you dopey cunt. You're leading in the polls. You want to be the government. So maybe people are going to look at your track record. Yeah. I'm sorry you've skated by for the last decade with no fucking scrutiny. Welcome to the big boy table, I guess. Fucking... what a whingy little bitch. I can't believe you're asking me difficult questions. I just wanted to dunk on him. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Get used to it. You want to be a fucking government minister, don't you? Do you think when that happens, they're not going to ask you about the things you've done? Fucking idiot.
Which way possible, through any tangent possible. So I'm afraid British people see through all of
In
that.
fairness, one of the challenges came from the audience, but
yeah, but he's part of the political media establishment as well.
Every time Zia Yusuf is on Question Time, he tries to get fucking... He says shit about the audience.
Yeah, because they're just whinging bastards. Because, again, there's one thing right-wing people want is an echo chamber. They don't want to be challenged on their beliefs in any way whatsoever. And they're not used to it.
I think that since Keir Starmer became Prime Minister, he upset the pensioners by saying about the winter fuel allowance. Then he upset the farmers. And then there was the
two groups that matter.
Yeah.
The two groups that matter in this country, millionaire farmers and the 20% of pensioners who are also millionaires who need their winter fuel.
Like, yeah, anyone else you annoyed? Just those two people. No one else.
Not the disabled or the fucking dead children in Palestine.
No.
Scandal, and then Ali. I think, how can people trust this Prime Minister when he appointed Mandelson and he knew that he had the relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and also he's done so many U-turns on different policies. I mean, he's betrayed the British people, especially on disappointment with Mandelson. So how can we trust him?
You
and
can't.
how can we keep him as Prime Minister? Because I don't think he's done a good job so far. Okay. And how can he carry on being the Prime Minister?
Yeah.
Woman at the back with the bearing.
I think that Keir Starmer is incompetent and that...
Well, I mean, can we pause?
I mean...
I wasn't going to say anything.
Absolute drip.
Yeah.
That is some drip.
Yeah.
Scandal is only further proof of that, but I think really the issue is that he's been...
But I will say...
Pronouns.
Definitely pronouns in bio. I mean, fair enough.
Lovingly, said lovingly.
Yeah, no, I'm not... whenever I do that joke, it's like taking the piss out of the far right for giving a fuck about whether or not you have pronouns in your bio. Who gives a shit? But, like, come on. Definitely. Like, even in the tagline of the emails, it's still there.
Competent the whole way through because he hasn't stood on any of what he said he was going to do. He doesn't care about working people or minorities or Palestinians. He doesn't care. This is just further proof. And
Okay, this person mentioned Palestinians, anti-Semite.
No, you're not pronouns in Bible, but also anti-Semite as well. The hallmarks of woke.
Yeah.
Metropolitan liberal elite spotted, chat.
Yeah. You know who wasn't in the Epstein fly logs? Loads of Palestinian babies. Just saying.
I think It says a lot about just the fickleness of the voter base, that politicians can say, vote reform so that we can change this, when really they're just as corrupt, and that really the issue lies in the governance, and that he's just a cowardly
Come on,
figure.
stop being
who doesn't
nervous.
want to,
You need to, if you're going to come to question time, you need to know
he's
to speak in public.
taking Labour away from really its core values and turning it into something that's
What Keir
further
Starmer
right.
is.
Why are you trying to coach this one person? Like, just because they're now the poshest trans person on the show?
So true. They've beaten me. They've beaten me in the posh trans person state. I'm no longer the posh tranny. What the fuck?
I didn't say shit. Fucking cancel me, bitches.
The middle, yeah.
Okay. Again, the man in the white shirt at the very back.
Sorry.
I think what we've established so far over the last 5 or 6 years, I think especially, is that no major party at the very least, is without scandal. And I don't condone any of the scandals at all, but I think that we've seen that the election in July 2024 was probably the most recent time since, October 22, that this country has seen any kind of stability in governance. And I think when you face so many threats on a global stage, whether it be geopolitical tensions, a possible new world order with the United States and Russia, I think, is it really a sensible idea to change the lead at such a pivotal time? And correct me if I'm wrong, I think Emma will probably know more about this than I do, but I also thought as well that if a Labour leader was changed, that required then the general election as per the terms of their rules. So I feel like right now
It's not true.
it's better off.
Well, no, because look, okay.
Gordon Brown.
Yeah, well, exactly. That also happened, but to be fair, I think that well, I mean, they might have changed since then, but regardless, the rules of a political party do not impact in any way the rules of either Parliament or of the Constitution.
Quite.
So, for instance, right, the person who is elected by the Labour Party leadership to be the deputy leader of that party is not the deputy prime minister, because Parliament don't give a shit. It's a completely separate entity. There's no such thing as, well, the Labour bylaws say there has to be a general. I don't give a fuck. The king hasn't dissolved Parliament. It sits. That's the end of it. Unfortunately, because we've got a fucking king. It's mental, but you get the idea.
Off either keeping the party current or keeping the leader sort of current to avoid further destabilisation of this country.
I don't think it does require. I mean, if you think about Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, they just,
That's
not
what I'm
necessarily
saying, yeah.
particularly smoothly, but it just went from one to the other. Let's take one.
That's annoying. That's the coolest haircut on a briefcase I've ever seen. It's a shame.
One more point, and then I'm going to come back to you. Yes, the woman there in the grey sweater. Oh, there's two of you. I'll hear from both of you. Woman in the grey sweater first. Yeah.
Given Keir Starmer's record, I think he should resign, but more worryingly, who would replace him?
Is there anyone you'd want to replace him?
No.
Dog shit. Literally a piece of excrement fresh out of the arse of a dog. Please? That would be better.
Well, is she? Do you want him to resign? Yes. You're trying to replace him with nobody. Oh, okay. So you don't want him to resign then, do you?
No, I do. I just don't want him to be replaced. I think the role of Prime Minister is fundamentally better not done by a human, so just don't. No, just have it empty.
AI.
Yeah, like fine.
Palantir, make Peter Thiel Prime Minister.
Yeah, can we get fucking Grok to do Prime Minister's
Sorry,
questions?
Whoa, don't dead name Mecha Hitler hit, Kevin.
Sorry. But I mean, look, talking about people who are okay with paedophilia, Grok and Prime Minister, the same thing. It's literally the same thing.
Okay, and you had something to say as well. Yes.
Yeah, I think my kind of point is similar. Actually, it's a tough gig, isn't it, at the top, and you know we keep seeing people fail, so we know.
Catherine Tate did not need to dress up like this to go into the audience. Just why is she doing this? It's a good character, whoever it is.
Know that people on the panel are within this environment. So what is the answer for us? You know, how do we get it right? Because we all feel like we want to get it right. People keep failing. You're in the kind of inner circles. You see how it works. So what is the answer? What is the solution for us to move forwards?
And do you
Well,
think...
look, there's already a perfectly good mammal to replace him in Downing Street. Larry the cat.
True, let's go.
Look, there's nothing in there about having to have 2 legs. This isn't Animal Farm, bitches. Let's go. Larry for PM.
Let's go.
He doesn't have to move his stuff in. It's already there.
Lord Buckethead should stand in the by-election, defect to the Labour Party if he wins, and then become Prime Minister.
He couldn't be less of a joke. Do you know what I mean? Like, he couldn't, or more of a joke, whatever the point would be. Yeah, like, would he be more respected around the world, Keir Starmer, or a man literally with a bucket for a head? Because, like, if he gets elected, he can't take the bucket off and pretend to be like Dave or whatever his name is. Like, no, you have to wear the bucket now for 5 fucking years. Tough.
Keir Starmer should remain in post or resign?
I saw the news tonight. He looks like a very broken man. And I do feel for him on that kind of side, but I can't excuse what he did.
Well, he is broken because the Ukrainians split him in 2.
I really was hopeful that he could be a good leader.
I apologise
for
nothing.
Qualities. So if he doesn't, then who does? So how do we move forwards? That's what I feel upset and kind of frustrated about.
I mean, he's had... To say a difficult few days would be, as I said at the beginning of this programme, a massive understatement. Where does it go from here? Because, Labour MPs are contacting the BBC hand over fist about saying he's toast, he's a dead man walking, maybe he might just cling on till the May elections, but then he's definitely out.
Well, I agree.
It can't continue like this, can it?
I agree with the gentleman at the back. I think...
I'm reminded the Mick McCarthy bit. That fantastic... I'm sure it's become a meme. Of like, they're going, oh, he can't go on like this, can it? And he goes... It can, Look, it literally can. Like, the pressure. If the pressure isn't sustained, what was the old thing? If the story's in the paper for 3 days running, then you're toast. Basically, like, as soon as it goes into a second media cycle, it means it's not going away, and you can't survive it.
Well, to be fair, the more he sticks around, the better it is for the Green Party. Like, he's just so fucking universally hated. He's got no fans.
You got no fans. You got no ground. Your team's shit. You fucking won, Sam.
Literally, like, he literally has no fans. It's true. He just has no fans. Like, the longer he sticks around, the more of the potentially left-wing voters of the country are going to desert Labour for the Green Party, and that's good for us. It's bad for the country. Like, I'm not going to be pleased about it, but it's a silver lining,
The Holborn Raider. Love it.
One of the reasons that the last Conservative government was so unpopular is because they kept chopping and changing their leaders. And I do
No,
think
it isn't. It's because they were shitholes. It didn't matter if they were fucking chopping and changing leaders, really. Like, obviously, that's not great for stability of governance, but the popularity of every single leader was shit, from start to finish.
I mean, the only reason, I think, literally the only person who shouldn't have resigned probably is David Cameron. Because he didn't resign because of a scandal. He didn't resign because he just couldn't do the job anymore, like Theresa May. He resigned because he was like, lol, I made a stupid decision. Bye, leave the mess for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, we keep talking about all of the resignations of Conservative prime ministers, but they resigned with good reason. Of course, they did bad things, and if they had not done those bad things, they wouldn't have resigned, and that's the problem. But Keir Starmer's done bad things, he should resign. The only person who didn't do bad things, or at least not resignable offences, evil stuff that's kind of normal for government, I guess, is David Cameron. Because he resigns to avoid having to deal with the bad stuff.
Yeah, exactly. He clogged the toilet and then went, I ain't cleaning that up.
Literally, he's fucking dumped a heavy load.
Yeah.
And
he's like, I'm not, look, I haven't brought any gloves with me. See you later. Yeah.
Exactly.
And went off and put his trotters up in the south of France, the twat.
Literally.
We are in a very difficult geopolitical situation. We've got war on our continent. We've got a very tricky set of relationships internationally that I do think that Keir Starmer has dealt with very skillfully in a very, very difficult geopolitical time. So I believe in Keir Starmer. I believe that he has the interests of the public at heart. The security services didn't advise against appointing.
No, just no.
Mandelson. He went through a security...
Right, but they pointed out the very serious security problems. Like, they didn't advise it because that's not their role. Their role is to provide information to the Prime Minister with the potential weaknesses. Because their whole thing is, they're not the government, in theory. They have a role in governance, of course, but like they literally provide, like, well, here's the compromat we think they may have on a person. And then it's up to the politician to say, well, okay, clearly we can't appoint this person then, because they're dodgy as shit.
Security vetting and a due diligence process. We've got to have a look at that process because it clearly didn't throw up the things that we now know. But
Oh yeah, we all thought Peter Mandelson was fucking perfect before all of this, yeah. Everyone loved him. There was no reason that he could have been seen as dodgy or inappropriate for a position that didn't need to be filled anyway. Like, pretending this isn't about, like, factional overreach rather than anything else. Look, that's all this is. They got drunk on power and thought they were fucking untouchable. And for a good year they were, basically. You know. But they've overdone themselves. They overplayed their hand.
Munira said she wants the government to tackle the cost of living, reduce NHS waiting times.
She wants a vote of no confidence, that's what she wants.
And the substantial things she talked about.
Well, of course she wants a general election. Because the Lib Dems are probably going to do pretty well. Not that their votes will, their vote won't change much, but they probably, I mean, they might win a few seats, certainly like in the southwest against the Tories.
I mean, what's going to happen is that Reform will be on 400 seats. The Lib Dems will stay in place on 78 or whatever it is, and everyone else will tank, and they'll be the opposition by moving nowhere.
Yeah, well, exactly. So she'll be a shadow. Yeah, she'll get a box and a jag and everything. It'd be wonderful for her. And instead of just being the spokesperson for. Which doesn't sound as good as, like, Shadow Secretary of State, does it?
True.
Was tackling the cost of living, reducing NHS waiting times and cleaning up our rivers, lakes and seas, and that's exactly what this government is getting on and doing.
It was widely reported, can I just clarify, it was widely reported amongst broadsheet newspapers, reputable media outlets, that security services did have concerns. And if you actually listen to Keir Starmer's testimony
Not that he
today,
didn't pass the vetting.
Keir Starmer's, they did have concerns. Keir Starmer's version of what vetting means is simply asking Peter Mandelson, literally asking the candidate what the reality was. Anyone who has ever done any form of vetting, even for a junior job inside a corporation, would know that's not what vetting means. And again, the Prime Minister of this country has the security services.
Hang on a minute.
At
Whoa,
his
whoa, whoa,
disposal.
whoa, whoa. Didn't Nigel Farage fail to vet half his candidates at the general election? It came out that a bunch of them were Nazis.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But I mean, he is raising a sort of good point that, like, we're in the Five Eyes, so we share intelligence. So, like, if, for instance, you needed to find out vetting information on someone, you could go to, say, the Department of Justice in America and say, do you have any information on this person? Like, we're not asking you to open your books, but, like, do you have any information on this person? And they could have gone, we've got all these emails with him and a pedo. Would that be of interest to you? But, no, apparently, according to Keir Starmer, the MI5 are also a waste of money because they can't even do basic shit. Like, take advantage of the information sharing. The Americans do it all the time. They've got information on every fucker. But apparently we can't get information on Yum Yum. As his code name should always have been.
That is what makes this such a disgrace.
And if somebody lies to the security services, then they can't get the full picture of what happened.
Let me just bring Julian.
The gentleman up there is absolutely right. This is not the situation we want the country to be in. There are extremely serious things happening out there in the world, but also enormous problems that we've got domestically. And a lady listed all the groups of people that he has angered.
No. She didn't mention all of them. No, she mentioned a very select group of people who are the exact same select group of people that you care about, and not the ones that you don't care about.
Now is Labour MPs, particularly female Labour MPs. One of the things that was very interesting about Wednesday was the way in which Labour MP after Labour MP from the women Labour MPs lined up to talk about their utter horror at what was going on. And the reason why this really matters to the domestic agenda is because there's a whole bunch of things that this guy's got to try and get over the line. So there's a big vote coming up on immigration. There's already a group of Labour MPs lining up to oppose that legislation. We saw that they can't get anything over the line on welfare. There's so many things now.
It is funny that they're like they are struggling to get legislation through with a majority of over 100.
Well, because again, like, Keir Starmer doesn't know his own MPs.
Yeah.
Loads of them have never even fucking met him, or Morgan McSweeney. When it came to the disability cuts, they went 9 months in the making, and at no point did they go to, at any point, go to the MPs to explain the policy.
But that was literally months ago. You think he'd have gone like, okay, like, the reset stuff's obviously bullshit, but how about we try and engage them a little bit? Because I reckon there's probably still members of the Labour Parliamentary Labour Party who still never met him. Like, they haven't changed in the slightest. Like, what's the whole thing about the definition of madness is for doing the same thing time after time and expecting different results? And that's exactly what they're doing. Okay, well, you'll continue to lose in an literally just missing open goal after open goal. You've got a majority of 100. How can you be struggling? It's ridiculous.
That he's simply not going to be able to get through Parliament, and that means, unfortunately, that he's not going to be able to govern. And I say unfortunately because I think so few people have any confidence.
Well, that's the thing. The vote of confidence that Manira has called for, like, obviously they're going to vote with their own interest, but if they were being honest, he wouldn't win that.
No, true.
Like, he just wouldn't. They'll obviously vote to claim they have confidence in him because they don't want to go to the electorate right now on, like, fucking 15%, because they're going to get wiped out.
And any of the other candidates who are on offer.
All right, I'm going to park this subject for now. I know quite a few of you still got your hands up, but there are other questions that you wanted to ask outside the kind of...
I think probably should leave it there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And you've travelled. You've travelled.
I've done a whole ass show today, so...
True. Everyone go check out No Justice on the various platforms.
Are you sticking around?
No, I'm going to call it quits. Because basically I just wanted to talk about that bit anyway.
That's true. That's all. The Mandelson stuff is all that matters, really. Like, they're going to talk about student loans, and Ollie Dugmore will be correct, and everyone else will be wrong. So,
yeah, basically, yeah. But the Lib
Well, to be fair, it'd be nice of him fucking lay into the fucking Liberal Democrats.
Yeah, exactly. The Lib Dems would be like, "Oh, that's really bad, isn't it? They're all in all that debt. You tripled it after promising to cut it, you fucks." Or eliminate it.
Hate them. Hate them.
There you go, chat. Yes, so everyone can go follow No Justice on all of the platforms. I command ye.
Likewise, do the same with Kevin Logan. That's KevLogan1875. I'm going to be raiding into the Surfs TV because I am an absolute clout goblin.
You know what? I'll join you in that, and I'll just say I will be back tomorrow. But not only will I be back tomorrow, I'm going to be normal islanding tomorrow.
Ooh, nice. Have fun with that. I will not be back tomorrow. Now, because I've streamed at my actual Thursday slot today, I can actually go home and have a day off tomorrow. I'll put some clips up though. There'll be some clips and some shorts for tomorrow, but there'll be no stream.
Well, enjoy everybody, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Free Palestine.
Palestine.
And Sudan and Kurdistan.
Free Britain.
Honestly, free fucking my life.
True.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, I haven't got on fucking YouTube, on Twitch, whatever. Surfs. Is it the Surfs? Where are we? The Surfs. There we go. It is the Surfs. Right. Okay. I'll be yeah. I'll like I say, I'll be on Normal Island tomorrow. So 7:30, which I might try and start earlier so that I'm like ready, but they're always late anyway, so whatever. At some point around then, so 7:30, which is 2:30 on the east coast of America, or whatever. Okay, no pass around.
No Justice, MTG, give them a follow back.